if Kizaru had to say this, to see Sentomaru on the ground,
And we
see
back.
CP0. I don't think he would do it, but there's a
So
chance
we're
that he
gonna
doesn't really fight
actually
the Straw Hats or Zoro, like
hide
people are
that
saying.
one.
He might go at it with Rob Lucci.
We're
I
gonna
don't
get
know.
the
It's like not a big
game
chance, but
capture.
it's Kizaru.
Enter
We never know what's
game
guy's going through his head, you know?
Yeah, when it comes to like the
Yeah.
connection thing, I think there's actually more because I think it was on your stream, not the stream. I think Zach said something about like just because he calls him uncle doesn't mean that there's any like real relationship there. Well, the thing is, if
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like an
official
official
relationship,
relationship. It could be an
yeah,
honorific.
honorific, but I think there could be something there because like based on like their interactions.
Because
But
didn't he call Vegapunk Gramps?
yeah, I call it Gramps, but we did learn in this chapter that Vegapunk actually helped him in the past, right?
Right.
Pretty much raise him up.
So it could be something that the reason why. He
Yeah,
calls
there might
Kizaru
be a
uncle.
reason. Kizaru may have done something in the past for him. It might be related to him in some sort of situation. We don't know. But I think there's more because it's this interaction that we're seeing here is sort of the same that happened to Subodhi. It was him. Kizaru was rolling with Sentomaru. We're seeing that it's sort of there's Oda is pushing these two characters together again. I feel like there could be more to Sentomaru and Kizaru's relationship. We do also know that he has obviously ties to Vegapunk because of the lasers. The lasers that the Pacifista use are from more than likely Kizaru's ability.
Howdy.
We even see it like when it comes to Sentomaru, his how he talks to Kizaru,
that?
like, yo, like Kizaru can't work the Denden Mushi, or Kizaru was late to go fight Silver's Rayleigh. He's like, yo, it took you so long. Like he talks to him so casually that
Yeah,
it makes me think
like
that these
they've been
guys
around each other.
yeah, maybe when Kizaru and the Pacifista and the laser was going on with Vegapunk,
Yeah,
there has to be a connection
the
there.
connection there.
Yeah. I think Kizaru. What's gonna happen is not what we expect, right? There's a lot of things that we expect to happen, and we want them to happen, and it's gonna be something just completely out of left field. I like the idea that Kizaru has ties to some of the people that we've been talking about, like Vegapunk and Sentomaru, so that him coming there, it does save again and hold off the fight between Luffy and Kizaru. Even though that's what I would want, right? I want Kizaru to fight versus Luffy.
100%, 100%.
But I think it'd be just be maybe a slight clash, and he finds out that Luffy is fighting against CP0. Then he's like, okay, all right, CP0, y'all gotta chill now because now y'all messing with my people. But here's the tough part: him interfering with CP0's mission. How does that go over with the world government?
And that's
You know what I'm
that's the thing, yo. Kizaru's the kind of guy who he always, like the Celestial Dragon got punched, he came there right away. Like he's not the type of
That's what
guy
I'm
who goes
saying.
against
It
the.
seems like he don't be caring.
He does-
Like he don't be caring, bro.
But this is the thing that
he
we're seeing a
doesn't.
lot now. CP0 and the Marines, they work under the same people, you know. So, but they don't work under each other. Like CP0 doesn't report to the Marines. Marines don't report to CP0. So we're seeing that with Dressrosa, how they covered up Doflamingo, and it kind of was pissed off to the Gorosei, yelling at them. So this could be another situation where the Admiral Kizaru and CP0, they're on the same side, but they're like two different coins, two different sides of the coin. So
Yeah,
I think that personally, it's Kizaru, I don't think he's gonna betray the world government, but I do think that there's gonna be like not as smooth as it could have been.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, again, I want Kizaru versus Luffy. That'd be amazing. But more, he left before the Straw Hats were there, so that's not the reason why he left. He's more than likely going for Vegapunk because he probably got wind of the assassination. And what I was thinking as well is like, okay, could the Marines try to save Vegapunk for their forces? And it's like a weird thing because they can't save Vegapunk because the Gorosei they want him dead.
Yeah,
And so it's just it could get really messy, but it takes away from the story if Kizaru helps the Straw Hats, I think.
yeah,
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the main antagonists.
He's definitely
in the
not
story.
gonna.
So if he goes and he helps the Straw Hats
He's not
and
gonna
fights
help
against
the
Rob Lucci,
Straw
it's
Hats.
like,
Are you kidding me?
wait, what the fuck going on here? You know, so
This is the one time where I actually wish for a clash rather than a full fight because I don't want to see Kizaru get defeated.
oh, you think Kizaru would lose to Luffy right now?
I think Luffy or Kizaru, they're not gonna make Luffy lose to Kizaru. So if Luffy's not gonna lose,
I hate that
it's
argument.
like if there's a full fight and someone has to lose, they're gonna make Kizaru lose for the story. I feel like.
I think for the story, the Admiral has to win, right?
But that's the thing. A Yonko, Luffy just newly appointed a Yonko losing to an admiral. It would hurt his like reputation. You know, if he lost.
No, that's true.
Oh,
You're
wow.
right. You're right about that. So that, but if the Admiral loses before the final arc,
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a lose-lose situation. So, that's why I don't want them to
nobody
fight.
can lose here.
That's why I don't want them to fight.
They can fight.
That
and
was
show,
a
like, you know
dime.
what I'm saying?
I'm not even gonna lie.
But
That
nobody
was a
can lose
dime.
here. Nobody can lose here.
Exactly.
That brings us to the Rob Lucci versus Luffy interaction. How did y'all view that interaction? Like, what do you think
Homie,
Just
I'm getting annoyed with
objectively,
you.
how did you view it? Who like were you surprised at how good Rob Lucci was doing? Do you think Rob Lucci even did good? How y'all feel about that?
Now the fight initially, like first of all, the reveal was fire. Like, this chapter essentially confirmed.
You're welcome, bro.
Rob Lucci's
You're
awakened,
welcome.
and then we got more details to that. But I think
Don't really know how that
this
wasn't
sort of
a
portrayal for Rob Lucci is
assist,
sort of
but whatever.
for, again, story reasons. We talked about this before. Whereas
Mhm.
Oda is just highlighting what Vegapunk is saying with like visual depiction of Luffy and Lucci's fight. So I think
Mhm.
80% of it is like story
So
purposes,
that's the end.
and like 20% of it is actual battle power for Lucci. So I don't think what's going on screen is totally like totally for story purposes. I do think that Rob Lucci more likely got stronger, and
Damn.
we're seeing his powers
Nicked it.
here. That he's awakened as well. So he did get stronger during the 2-year time skip. So
Homie,
I
what the
think again, most of it is story
Were you just
purposes, but
sitting
I do
there?
think that we can't actually just
What was this guy
ignore
doing? He
the
misses,
fact that
right? But I
happened
want
on
to see what he's
screen
doing.
at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's being
I
an
think
idiot.
100%.
Yeah.
What it should be.
I feel like
That was
I feel like
mean.
this chapter was like a Rob Lucci chapter. It was just to make him look good. This chapter, Oda makes Luffy go Gear Fifth right away. Oda gives him awakening. Like we just had an arc where we see all these amazing Zoans and none of them are awakened. Only Luffy, right? So I feel like he just wants to make Rob Lucci look good here because of like Rob Lucci's connection to Enies Lobby. Rob Lucci as a character has always been like a very powerful character, a genius since the age of 13. He joined CP9 as the strongest CP9 ever of all time. So this chapter, honestly, is just a Rob Lucci to make him look good. But I was surprised. To answer your question, I was surprised that he did this well against Gear Fifth.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are surprised. I think for me, I wasn't that surprised because it was just like it's not about Rob Lucci's strength.
Yeah.
And I want to get that across to people. It's not about how strong Rob Lucci is at this point, right? That's not the point of it. The whole point of this is to set up that conversation between Vegapunk and the Straw Hats, right? For the Straw Hats to see the form, for Vegapunk to give us that quick lore dump about Devil Fruits, and for Rob Lucci to have a quick showcase. Even in the midst of it, Oda did show and portray, I think rightly so, that Luffy is still on another level. But at the end of the day, Rob Lucci could never get one shot and overwhelmed right away. And even for Luffy's Gear 5, I don't think he has full control of it yet because he's playing around, right? I think Luffy's fucking around. Probably not using Haki, Advanced Conquerors, none of that. And so that's part of the drawback now, right? Because remember Vegapunk or Shaka said, for Devil Fruits that are awakened, what he said, they tend to overwhelm the user's mind, right?
Yeah.
The Zoan powers, right? Most awakened Zoan powers tend to overwhelm the user's mind. That's why the Impel Down Zoan guards were they
lost their personality. Yeah,
they didn't have a personality, right? So for Luffy, I think Gear 5 and Nika being as goofy and as free as it is has taken over his mind, and it takes a while for him to kind of get back right.
Yeah.
And so once he gets, it takes a while for him to adjust. Once he adjusts, it's going to be over.
Yeah.
But even then, I think Rob Lucci still has more to go. So even next week, even if Luffy knocks Rob Lucci out, it may be a situation where Rob Lucci definitely comes back because I think he has a higher purpose in the story. Oda giving Rob Lucci an awakening box is interesting because a lot of people are looking at Kaido like, all right, Kaido, we didn't get a box for Kaido. I'm not sure if you guys saw the theory about awakening where Kaido wasn't awakened because his mind and body were not aligned because he wanted to die. And therefore his body caught up, but his mind didn't because he said for an awakening, that's when your mind and body catches up. So that could be the reason why Kaido is not awakened. But I think it's interesting that Oda give us specifically Rob Lucci awakened box. And he chose the perfect person, I think, for awakening Rob Lucci because we saw him before fight all out and we saw his form. So he brings it back and he used somebody that we've seen before and gives him an awakening form. And what do y'all think about that cloud sash, that fire sash for him? What do y'all think about that thing that he has? Does that mean anything? Yamato and Luffy has
I think like that fire sash does mean something because it's too like you don't just do that by accident, right? When it comes to awakening, and I feel like every awakening like has similarities. Like Clemishia's we saw with Doflamingo and Katakuri, there's little similarities there too with their awakening, right? But the thing I'm confused about is more so mythical Zoans. I'm thinking Kaido not being awakened. even the way Luffy awakened was different than Rob Lucci, you know, as him being a mythical Zoan. And now we look at characters like Marcos and Goku. Like now I'm looking at every single mythical Zoan, and I'm getting more confused about awakening. So when it comes to Zoans, of course. So that's
In
my
the
thoughts on
future,
that. But when it comes
just
to Rob
wait.
Lucci, I was
Get the
surprised, but I feel like
deadlines
this was
fashioned up
perfect for Rob Lucci when it comes to his clash with Luffy. I think it was perfect, and I think that how to say this, Rob Lucci is not gonna get the Bellamy treatment, yo. He's not gonna get he's not gonna get the Bellamy treatment. So that's what I think right there.
Yeah, I think like the sash is like the new like thing that we use for like Zoan awakenings now because this chapter is confirmed that actually the at this point in the story we only have two confirmed awakened Zoans, which is Luffy and Rob Lucci, right? And so it just happened so that these
Get the
two happen
future,
to have that sash.
just
So
wait.
it's looking like this is
Get
the
the
new
deadlines
sort of
fashioned up
image thing that Oda is going to use for like awakened Zoans. But I don't know if that's going to be the case for everybody that we see because I don't know if Yamato is actually so it's weird right now. There's a lot of questions to be asked for sure.
So do you guys think Kaido and Yamato are not awakened? Do you guys think that?
I think Yamato. I think they both are. Personally, I think Oda's saving some things for it to be revealed, and I think he may go back to Kaido and his awakening and why he's not awakened.
Because I did hear that like if he awakened Yamato and Kaido, it would have kind of took away from Luffy's awakening reveal. I heard some people say that.
That's what people were saying. That's what people were saying. I don't
yeah.
think so. There are ways you could subtly stop it, but I don't think so. I mean, I do think they are awakened though. I think Kaido specifically. Is
That's
awakened.
my bad, bro.
That's
my
I mean,
bad.
That entire back and forth again. It's not
Don't
about story,
worry.
it's just nostalgia. Oda's even one-to-one copying old panels.
Yeah,
Like Lucci and Luffy clash. It's just a copy of an old panel, and Vegapunk giving a breakdown of Devil Fruits. Now, Vegapunk is basically saying that Devil Fruits, for the most part, are
I'm bullying these
manifested,
guys.
and
Oh my
they
god.
are the object of people's desires. And that's why the sea rejects them because they are
these
not
guys are-
natural occurrences.
Oh, that might be in.
How do y'all feel about
Oh,
what Vegapunk's
Oh!
theory, quote
That
unquote,
would have
is,
been
because
so
he's Vegapunk,
hype.
the authority on Devil Fruits.
That would have
So
been
it's
really
very
hype.
fact.
I'm
How y'all feel about
stressing these guys
I'll be
out.
honest with you,
That's
this
cool.
had me confused, yo. Because
Oh no, too much dudes.
this guy's
Too
a scientist.
soft.
He's like the smartest
A
guy,
little bit
500 years
excessive.
ahead of humans and all that. But then I'm like, this is some spiritual stuff. Like this is some deeper stuff when it comes to the One Piece verse. You know, he even mentions God in his speech. You know, so this was a lot for me. I'm kind of in the wait and see for where he expands on the Devil Fruit ability. Because right now I even got more confused than I didn't know nothing. You know, when I was ignorant about Devil Fruits.
Nah, I understand that 100%. What about you,
I
Farrah?
actually like the idea because like it fits like the head canon that I had because I think I've seen a bunch of like Devil Fruit theories and like the origins of Devil Fruit, but there's the key thing that I think a lot of that like killed a lot of theories was the Paramecia class because it had all these weird Devil Fruits. Like, wait, how is this possible? Like, how can some of these Devil Fruits exist? And like the fact that it's like something that's created out of the mind of a person, it makes a lot of sense why the Paramecia, because there's just such a variety within that class. And when it comes to the Mother Nature thing, I like that too because it kind of fits like the sea being the embodiment of what is natural, and then these manifestations being like something that shouldn't exist. So that's how they kind of counteract each other. So I actually like that really like that Oda talked about. But again, all of this is actually a theory, so we don't actually know if some of it's true or all of it's true. I think some of it is true, but there's still some missing pieces that Oda hasn't actually delivered on yet.
Yeah. No, I think the part that's true is where they came
Yeah.
from. It's about people's desires,
Yeah,
and they were
manifestation.
manifested. Now the thing is,
Go. Get it.
who were these people that did this, right? These special people. And then what was the situation? Was it a dire situation where they needed it at that time? The comment I keep seeing is that there's somebody out there that desired to have a jacket that they could wear.
Yeah.
People. And so
I'm gonna keep on it.
it's a very unique thing because it's not just there's a Devil Fruit tree
That's
in
in.
Mario Joa, right?
That's in.
It's telling you that the One Piece world is not normal. It's not what you expect it to be. Everything that you expect, turn it on its head, and that's probably what it is. And so it's going to be mythical. It's going to be something that people thought of, something made up. And basically, Oda's saying just to open your mind a little bit. Like, don't go in expecting some logical, scientific. He's like, I'm going to give you science, right? I'm going to give you the Seraphim, like he gave us this chapter, Mihawk, Boa, and Jinbei. I'm going to give you the Seraphim, but we're going to have some.
Too much
it's a
juice.
magical
Too
world.
much juice.
It's a
Come
magical,
on.
just fun, just
Too
out
much
of this world,
sauce.
like mind blowing shit.
That's why it was so impactful that Vegapunk was the guy who was saying it, because he's all about science. So the fact that he's bringing it up with when it comes to
Right.
it's like
this world is
beyond
so
our
amazing.
bounds.
Yeah.
Now
It's
I'm
like-
thinking,
Wait.
what's the One Piece, yo? Is One Piece gonna be similar to this?
I mean, we gotta open our mind to
Yeah.
that. We got
100%,
to,
yo.
because Vegapunk. Listen, Vegapunk, like you said, the authority on everything,
thought-
and for him, he thought the Kaido's Devil Fruit it was a failure because it wasn't the same color. So even though he understands where they came from is a phenomenon, he still understands them enough to recreate it because S Bear has
yeah.
the Pawpaw fruit.
Yeah, and that's Puma
You know-
has Jinbei has the swim fruit, right?
But yeah. So they gave us
Jinbei.
swim fruit to
Ah.
S
Yeah,
Shark,
Shark.
right? So another thing that we can talk about before we get out of here, because we want to keep this shorter than usual. The hierarchy as far as controlling the Seraphim. How do y'all feel about that? Because basically you got the command hierarchy. Because it's weird because they said this is the pacifista command hierarchy. Okay. So, do you think that they're considering with the Seraphim as well, or is it just like
Yeah,
this is what it used to be with the Pacifista?
I think this is
Because
Oh, this guy's so pissed.
it says Pacifista
Pacifista, yeah.
hierarchy. Because these aren't Pacifista.
that's true.
You know
That's
what
all
I'm
that
saying? So I'm like,
boost.
is it going to be different with the Seraphim?
no,
Shout out to
you
my
do
guy
not.
Quiley pointed it out to me, saying, "Okay, why did they specifically say Pacifista?
Why would you tell me you
and
got it
not
then? bro?
Seraphim?
Why would you tell me you got
Yeah,
it then?
It's like
I literally
five
took that
elements.
as you
You have
got it.
Dr. Vegapunk
Don't
and the
say
satellites.
that shit.
Then you have Sentomaru and anybody with an authority chip, which I think is.
I don't
genius
believe,
for them to
like,
have
you
that
don't
set up.
understand. I set you up that
But they
entire
didn't
shot.
specify
Did you
exactly
actually think that was
Seraphim,
fucking
so we gotta
you?
wait and see with that.
Holy
y'all have any
shit.
thoughts on that specific thing?
I feel like it makes sense. It was
Yeah, it
makes
Sentomaru
sense.
was he was kind of like always leading
Yeah,
the
you
Pacifista
do
during
got
the
it now.
World War.
Good
Yeah,
So
job.
that kind of makes
Yeah.
sense. He was there Sabaody with that too. And then honestly, I believe the biggest thing I'm looking at is the Gorosei, that they're at the top, yo. So I feel like this is closer and closer to every fan like that wants to see the Gorosei in action. Like just seeing them walk in with the Pacifista, the
Another
Seraphim would be
year
crazy
and
as a
the
fan.
clock starts
And they actually
ticking.
fight.
Another
Damn.
goal, another spell.
Yeah, it would be dope. I think again, and something as well to point out is that we saw in previous chapters, I think door 5 and 6 were still closed, right? And in this chapter, or last chapter, doors 1 and 2 opened for S Shark and S Snake, or S Hawk and S Snake, and S Shark was already out. I think it was door 4. So door 5 and 6 is still there.
which should be
That
Do
means
Flamingo and
should be S Flamingo and S Crocodile.
yeah.
I'm assuming.
And there
So right now we have
and there is a possibility
ahead,
of
Fred.
like other individuals being like created by, right? We don't necessarily know if this is like
and
the only thing that they Vegapunk has created. He might have like a back door where there's a S Kaido in there or
In the
something.
future.
maybe, but here's the thing as well. We got G14 that's up the street, right? So I would not be surprised if some Marines make their way to Egghead because of what's going on right now. You know, if you're an admiral to send there, they're probably gonna all the forces are gonna be notified, and people are probably gonna go over to Egghead. So I wonder if once Helmepo finds out that Luffy is over there, if he decides to go, then he lets Luffy know. He tells Luffy about Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Where he goes over there, and then I'm gonna stand on it. I still think my boy Smoker is gonna make an appearance in this arc. He has to. He has to, bro. He has to. I think that's how Oda ends off the year, man. Just a Smoker, bro. He's not even gonna show us Smoker's face yet. We just gonna see the cigar.
We're just gonna see smoke. We're gonna see Smoker. And
We're just gonna see the cigar.
listen.
bro. We're
If
gonna
I see
the cigar.
Smoker in a panel and he's like, "Yo, I want all the smoke, yo,"
Oh God. I'm like, these top one. Nah, listen. Smoker is our like one of our favorite characters. a long time in the story, and so him being absent since Punk Hazard, right? No, well, we saw him in Dressrosa. I believe. Yeah, I think we saw a panel of him in Dressrosa. That's when we found out he was going to go see Vegapunk.
I gotta
So
go eat
he
some
has to be
lunch.
somewhere around here.
Mm.
Tashigi's at G14. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Smoker should be somewhere around here. Would not be surprised if he's here. Seeing Smoker, Rob Lucci again, and Luffy in the same spot, that would be amazing. But overall, I think again, chapter 10 out of 10. Any final thoughts, guys?
This is a fire chapter, honestly.
It's a fire chapter.
We're
I want to say
getting a lot of reveals. The Devil Fruit origin is finally being revealed after about 25 years in the making.
we gotta pay respect, Fair. We gotta pay respect to Sentamaru, bro. We gotta at the last page.
So guys, don't forget to click on the description link to get the special discount private internet access is granting to our channel users. This application
We need Lav Loon in the call right now.
No, that's not gonna happen. Please, God.
You want it. I
Oh,
can-
that's next. That's next. That's what I'm watching during lunch. But y'all get to watch this.
It's the Roadway Replay.
Time for the light.
You
I gotta go make some
started living your best life once you made yourself out of clay and started living as this clay figure.
Ever since I made him, he has his own house now. He has his own car. He has a whole bunch of friends. Shut
Hello?
the front door.
Hello?
No way. Lyle, is that you?
Yeah, is this
Hi, dude.
Tybee, what's up, dude? How's life?
You actually just caught me at the perfect time.
Yeah, why is it the perfect time?
I just finished the most cathartic
back.
yoga session. Just like stepped out of Tadasana, which is a corpse pose, and I
Sure.
looked right at my torn open Welch's fruit snacks package, and then I hear a beep, and it's you.
It must be the
Perfect.
universe working its magic on you.
I swear it was the fruit snacks.
Okay, here's what the call screener wrote down about what you wanted to talk about, and I looked at it, and it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I wanted to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
So we can clear it up. Okay, I'm gonna say. Can I
Well,
can I
I'm
say
glad you
it?
called. Of course.
Okay, Tebby, 30 years old from Colorado. It says here that you started living your best life once you made yourself out of clay and started living as this clay figure.
Yeah.
What does that mean? How did you make yourself out of clay?
Honestly, I wouldn't have even been able to tell you all this time until the moment happened. And even now, I'm still wrapping my head around how it got to this point and why it had to be this way. But I'm just super happy and excited that it did. But
Okay.
to like kind of explain it, it's not like
Sure.
it's not like I made a realistic rendition of myself, like someone else may assume maybe. Like I made a small version of my body. I made like a character, I guess you can call him an avatar,
Sure.
that represents me on
Mhm.
like the deepest level.
Mhm.
And he's like 3 inches tall. And ever since I made him, he has his own house now. He has his own car. He has a whole bunch of friends. He has like new teachers. He's starting his own restaurant. And the whole time he's doing all this crazy stuff, like very ambitious, I finally found my body that was in pain for so long. In the process of chasing what society kind of makes you think you need to do to be happy. And since I found my body, like I've done everything I guess I should do, and I've let go of things that I should have let go of years ago. And I have found the most relief in my real, like, body, my corporeal self. But I blame it. I don't blame it. I think this little dude has something to do with it.
Okay, so let's go real slowly on this. You
Yeah, I'm
built a
sorry.
little. You. It's okay. No, it's okay. That was a good top line. Okay, you built a little guy out of clay that is not necessarily looks like you, but is a representation of you.
Yeah.
And the little guy is living his own little guy life. You've created because you are in control of this little guy. You have created for this little guy a house and a family, and you've basically orchestrated for this little guy a nice life.
I don't know if it was me. I feel like we did it together.
Okay. So you worked with the little guy to orchestrate a nice life for him.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've noticed that as the little guy's life is getting better, are you sitting there and making a house out of clay, making a wife out of clay, making children out of clay?
I don't think he wants children. He's not there yet. I don't think he's old enough in his realm. But he's living it up. Like, I'm telling you, he's doing things.
Okay,
like,
so slow
that
down.
I
We're
thought
missing
I
the point of the
wanted.
question. Are you making stuff for him out of clay? That's what I wanted to ask.
My hands are, yeah.
Okay. And you feel as though your hands are like are you channeling something, and the thing that you have channeled is working with you to create these things?
I feel like I'm on like this, like I'm in the middle of like a spiritual domino effect of understanding the universe via this process. And I hope it's not, I'm not digressing, but I feel like as I've been making things for him and living my life through him, I've been understanding how our creator, if you believe in that, whatever angle you have on that, how they view us and how they made us in their quote unquote image, maybe not exactly their image, but how they feel. And then as we live our best lives, it's like we're honoring our creator. And I almost feel like when this little guy's living his best life, he's honoring me, and then I feel better, and then I can relax, and the stress is gone, and I let go of things, and then I handle myself. And then it's like a back and forth of treating each other right. And then now I'm like thinking about how I must like maintain this conversation with myself in order to maintain spiritual connection with the universe, like, and whatever is responsible for it. If that makes sense.
So you know, actually, it does make a little bit of sense. So, as you have created this thing, and as you have worked with this thing to create its own life, it has shined a light, perhaps, on your relationship with whatever it is you believe created you.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell me how it has influenced that relationship.
It's made me take care of myself. It's made me honor myself. It's made me reach out for things I never thought I had the confidence or the gusto to reach out for, just because I feel like the creator, or whatever you want to call it, or them or her or him, like that's what they would want. Like that, like they're up there and they want to see us live our best life.
Okay.
So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Okay, interesting. So to the point that you just said of you're reaching out for things you never would have thought, let's get specific here. What specific things have you been doing for your life that are positive as a result of all of this?
I guess to start on some more primal levels, I think maybe you would be interested in this one. I stopped masturbating, which was interesting because, you know, as a human being, it's a natural thing, or it's built into you to feel like you want to satisfy yourself in that way in order to, I guess, honor yourself in a certain type of way. Like you almost deserve a little relief or something. And because I found relief elsewhere in this more deep way, I've let go, no pun intended, but I've let go of that part of myself.
Interesting.
And it's, as a result, helped my lower back. It's helped me spot my pelvic floor. It's helped me stop producing so much cortisol or stress-inducing
Yes.
chemicals in my
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
It's just been really good in that way. I stopped smoking. I've been smoking weed for like 15 years. Actually, no, 17 now. I'm just used to saying 15 for the past couple of years, but it's a nice number. But like 17 years I've been smoking. I would, everything I could take THC and I would. And now I've been like, I switched over to CBD, and it's
Yep.
been like maybe the best choice I could have made. I didn't even take it seriously until now.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I don't
so
know,
we
I've-
have you
I've been
stopped
able to
masturbating, you
drop-
stopped smoking weed. Anything else?
I've been able to save money for the first time in my life. I have my own place confidently now. I have a better relationship with my family. What else? I've been able to drop traumatic relationships in my life without reaching out or even having thoughts to reach out, and I could talk about it without feeling triggered. I don't know, just primal things that kind of bleed out into, I guess, bigger things. And I'm really only at the
Mhm.
beginning of this, but I can tell it's in a good path.
So, to summarize where we are at so far, you have created a small figure that is a representation of yourself, and that figure, being the creator of it, has given you greater perspective of the relationship between you and whatever it is that created you. And your desire to honor whatever it is that created you has caused you to make positive lifestyle changes, such as not masturbating, not smoking weed, and forming better relationships with people.
Yeah. You're so
Huh.
concise.
Wow, we did it. We started out, this made absolutely no sense, and we kind of got somewhere with it.
Yeah, you're good at putting things into smaller sentences.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Where does it go with this figure? Like, how long have you been doing this project?
Project. I don't even.
Whatever you
know
would
if
call
that's
it.
the
This
right-
thing with this figure.
Yeah. The odd thing is this figure started out or emerged from a reoccurrence of a imaginary friend I had when I was younger that I abandoned when I was younger due to a friend stealing him in some really weird way. That's too long of a story to talk about. But as a result, I lost my path. And when I thought of him again and I thought about where this imaginary friend was, he brought me back. And I didn't even make him correctly until like 2 years later after I realized I should honor this imaginary friend. And then now he became like, I finally made a figure for myself, and that figure is me. And that happened, I guess, several months ago. And since then, I've built a house for him. It's like a 3-story house, 4 rooms, like a balcony where they can DJ and stuff. He's got a driveway. But the next project is I'm making a restaurant for him to serve up these dishes that I make out of Millie clay. I do Millie clay work. That's what the figure is made out of. He's made out of a Millie. Do you know what a Millie is?
No, but I have a question for you. So your next thing for this this clay person is to make them a restaurant.
Yeah, so he can serve
Okay,
up his friends.
so
and
so
people that
are
come into his life.
you? Is any part of you living vicariously through this figure? Like, are you taking your own desires for your life and giving them to this figure in the idea that perhaps it will come back to you? Like, do you have a desire to open a restaurant? Do you want to have a house and all the sort of things that you're giving to this figure?
I do strongly believe in like a karmic cycle. So I do think, whether I like it or not, these things may blossom into larger versions. Like, these are almost like dream boards, someone might like perceive them to be, but they also are very like internal, like they're external projects, but they're internal conversations with myself. Like the house that I built helped me find my body. And when I found my body, I was able to recognize my friends and my family. I was somewhere to be. But now that I recognize my friends and my family, I need to build a restaurant within myself to invite in more people with this attitude that I developed through building this thing for this character. And the restaurant is going to be something that helps me with my business and art. But it's also something that will help me invite more people just generally into my life. And I just felt like I wasn't inviting healthy people until now. And I just want to like reinforce that with these spiritual projects. I don't know if spiritual is the right word. But yeah, to answer your question specifically, maybe I'll make a restaurant or a gallery that is posed as a restaurant, and I serve delicious artwork to people to enjoy with their, internal conversations and maybe spark their own little karmic circle.
So Tebby, tell me, before we go, this has been very interesting. This has been, I'm glad for you. Look, I think that this is definitely not a traditional thing that you're doing, but I'm glad that it is. It sounds like it's been helpful to you therapeutically. It's reinforcing this idea, this sort of hypothesis that everyone has their own way of dealing with the problems and the stuff going on in their life, and that there are various creative solutions to doing so. And it sounds like you've very much found your own that's working for you, and I'm happy to hear that. I guess before we go, what does the future look like for you, Tebby? Are there any visions that you want to share with us before we move on?
Any visions? Well, right now I'm working on an Avatar: The Last Airbender miniseries, and it's
like literally the show Avatar.
Yeah, I'm deriving like lessons I'm learning from each book, all the way through Korra, to help me fully lock down who I am and what I want to be as the server in this restaurant. And if anyone wants to check that out, all they would have to look up is Pilot. Actually, this reminds me, I almost forgot. What the hell? Okay, did you ever get that drawing I sent you?
You sent me a drawing?
Tiny drawing? Yeah.
Is it wait, was it like
Zippo's box?
Yeah, holy shit, that was you?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, I did get that.
Hell yeah.
Fucking fuck. Damn, yeah, I did get that. It's back at my parents' place, but yeah, I did get that.
Oh my gosh. At your
holy
parents'
shit.
place, that's amazing. Yeah.
Well, goddamn, yeah, holy shit, yeah, with the line work and everything, yeah, I did get that. Man, it's cool to like talk to you, and now next time I see that, I'll be like, man, that's the figure guy.
Yes, sir.
Well, shit, what's your name again? Tebby?
I'm Tybee.
Tybee. Well,
But,
Tybee, thank you again for sending me that. You go by what?
No doubt. Thank you for doing all of this. You've kind of you're the last thing that I drew in that style. Like, you kind of broke me through that addictive style I was in. And I wanted to return the favor, and then I didn't even know I was going to do my last drawing. And ever since then, I've been chasing myself.
Tybee, do you have, for people who are interested in you and what you're doing, anyone who maybe this call connected with in particular, do you have an Instagram or something where they can connect with you on?
Yeah, I only have an Instagram. It's Meda Pilot, MEDAH PEI137. Yeah, check me out if you want to see the avatar.
Tybee, anything else? Any final words for the people at the computer before we go?
Try CBD out.
Excuse me.
Perfect.
Pretty
Simple.
much it.
Clean. efficient. Good luck to you, Tabby. Thank you very much for calling.
What up?
Thank you, Lyle. Gek Nation, bless.
Well, that was fascinating. I love calls like that where something every time, whether it's in the live show or on the stream.
You don't. That was a great arc.
It was an arc, all right, but I'm good. Okay, we don't need this.
Who can we add?
Oh fuck!
Get someone who gets really triggered.
I don't have anybody.
No,
No, stop. Stop. Why? I'm not gonna let you destroy my fucking life. Okay.
Okay, you pick. Chad, pick a name. We're gonna call them on the stream.
Not
Not everyone in your community. Who do you have?
Nobody. We're like on a slowdown now, right?
Because you're not milking the Zoomer thing.
No, because I don't want to be known as a racist guy.
Just be known as a racist for a few weeks, okay?
No.
And then reform yourself. There'd be nothing funnier than a blue hair racist on the internet.
No, it wouldn't be funny, okay?
Stephen, the only jokes you laugh at are racial jokes. You know that, right?
There's a lot of funny racial jokes. I can't help that.
You were on the bridge with PewDiePie. Admit it. We want Haas. Haas actually doesn't hate Steven anymore. It's weird.
Yeah, because he's fucking pathetic and probably desperate for any kind of fucking relevance to your content. That guy is
now
disgusting.
he hates you. Now he hates
that
you.
guy is absolutely disgusting. I've never seen somebody radiate so much short man energy my entire fucking life.
Man, you act like he punched you. Chill.
What did he do to me? Why do I hate him so much? I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
Do you hate Nick?
I don't hate Nick. He's just a little annoying.
You should have seen Nick's last stream. The chat's like, "Are you still doing that thing with Steven?" He's like, "Well, now that I'm with Ye, I don't know about all that."
Yeah, he's definitely got his own thing going on. Right?
Steven, are you constipated lately?
No.
Okay. Who are we adding to the call?
Nobody.
We don't have that much time. We'll add Nina? Razor's Nina?
What?
You want Nina from Razor's house? Or Razor's wife?
I don't even know who that is. And if they're just a boring person, they're not going to say anything. I don't know anything about.
Oh, they're a hysterical lib.
We don't. You can't listen. You can't manufacture drama. It's got to be natural. Okay. There's people that naturally hate each other and get upset about shit that happens on stream. Okay, that's the best type of shit.
Well, if it's DGG, Destiny, and Zerko on a call, we can
enjoy my lunch.
Manufacture it. Are you kidding?
Here, we'll do. Okay, have a beer calling. There, Lawler. Okay.
Lawler, you're a fucking snake bitch.
Whoa. Come on, guys. Let's be reasonable.
That's it?
Is it time for my question?
Yes.
All right. First time caller, long time listener. Here's the question. Me and my girlfriend were arguing about this.
She's wrong. She's 100% in the wrong.
Granted, most of the time, yes, she is. I was sleeping. She, as a nice gesture, decides to order me food. But my perspective, I don't want you to order me some random food and guess what I want. You know, just wait till I wake up and let me make that decision. Who's in the right here? She always wants me to go, you should order me something while I'm sleeping. You know what I want. Actually, I don't. For me, I always...
You don't know the person you live with, what they're into?
No, but like for me, it varies. Like, when I wake up, I could want tacos. I could want anything, right? Like, just she ordered me a ham sandwich.
No,
a
I
ham
know what
sandwich.
you mean. It's like, it's like the worst feeling in the world is when somebody gives you a gift for something and you're supposed to act like you like it, but you don't. And then it's just and then you've got like a weird obligation. Like you have to like eat something or whatever.
Okay.
Like, and then you feel like an asshole. And it's like, fuck me.
As much as I want to shit on you for being in the wrong, Lawler, she did bring a ham sandwich. That's the worst thing you could order.
It's not the greatest food. I appreciate the gesture, but it's just not what, I'm not picky about my food, but I want to make that selection. I can make a quick, I don't spend a lot of time making my choice, but it's just like
So
really?
what, that became a real argument?
Well, what
became a real argument. We were still arguing about it. She's still in the room.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
What's her side of the argument? Bring her on.
What's your side of the argument, Rachel?
Oh, she's had a problem with you. What?
Oh, okay. She's saying in the bigger context, basically, she says, I don't perform like acts of service or one of those love languages things. I'm not like, getting her flowers or doing those types of things. Which I agree. She's in the right. You're in the right.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Cool, dude.
Okay.
That's not cool at all. Get her some fucking roses, bro.
Yeah, get her some flowers, bro.
Or Steven would say a candy bar.
Bring her on the mic. Get her closer, okay?
She's not getting on the mic. You know, this is we're not getting into all this on the stream.
Wow.
We're not having the live breakup.
Well, why didn't you
That's funny.
Why don't you get her any flowers, bro?
No, it's something that I am working on. No,
Here's
it's
a
a valid
wait,
point.
wait, wait,
And I-
wait,
and I
wait,
have
what's she saying?
improved, and I have taken.
What's she
I
saying?
have taken steps doing that. You can't deny that, Rachel.
Hold on, Lawler.
Wait, no,
How
let
about
her
this?
talk. Shut the fuck up. Let her. What is she saying?
She says the context of the mindless gesture. It's just the fact that you do is important. But
Okay.
I have improved in that aspect. No.
Oh, I can't
Okay.
hear. What
yeah,
did she say?
great.
Yes
She
or
said
no?
she said you could be way better. You're still shit at it.
Wow. Wait, how old are both of you?
Okay. I'm 30.
How old is she?
She is 23. No, 22.
Jesus. Did you meet 7 years
23.
ago or 8 years ago or how long have you been
No,
together?
we met. We've only been together for 1 year. Take it easy. I didn't meet her in high school.
Okay. I got a lot I would say. What do you want to say, Zerka?
I guess I would ask, what is something you've done in the last year that's memorable for your better half?
Ooh. Memorable in what way?
In a romantic sense.
Well, I mean, wouldn't that be like what she thinks is memorable, not so much what I think is memorable?
Yep.
Well, what do you think she thinks is memorable?
Oh, let me ask her. What is a memorable thing I've done for you in the past year?
That's not.
She's bewildered by the question. Hold on.
You're in trouble, dude. She's backing her shit.
Wait. Fuck. Can't hear. Fuck.
She's saying her first birthday, I got her flowers and stuff. That was memorable. Not your first-year-old birthday, by the way. Just the first birthday we were together? No, that can't be right. Oh, yeah, that was...
Over a fucking year ago.
Okay. No, she's just saying, no, we went to Greece, and I arranged for them to put stuff on the bed.
Wow.
Yeah, you're being dishonest. Okay, but yeah, she was just saying, you know, if she just wants to see effort by the guy, which I think is true. A lot of guys need to put effort to maintain the relationship.
Wait.
How to please a girl.
Oh.
I guarantee you, it does flowers,
Good boy.
dinners. That it's so fucking easy.
Okay.
It
Damn.
cannot be any easier.
All right, all right.
Wow.
I agree.
This is giving me flashbacks. Wow.
Jesus.
Okay.
So
What's your guys' opinion? Let's hear your thoughts.
Well, I'm not good at this. Mine I ignored for 4 months, and she cried every single day, and so I'm not good at this stuff. Steven?
Melina's really pretty. If she doesn't like me, she can find somebody the fuck else and get the fuck out. So
All right.
that's an easy problem. We call that a non-problem.
All right.
The problem is that we're assuming they should have an opinion. Like, why?
True.
Did she learn
that's
this
crazy.
voting stuff? This democratic way of thinking in Greece? Why does she have to like give her input? I don't get.
Yeah,
it.
we're Canadian, right? So we're pretty liberal here, okay?
Do you pay the bills?
I pay most of them.
Okay, then she can't complain.
Yeah, but she's a hardworking gal now.
What is there like a thing? Do you like do grocery shopping or whatever?
I do not.
Do you drive to work?
No, I work from home.
Do you
We
go
both
out of the
do.
house for any fucking reason ever?
To do like social events, you know, go out with my friends, whatever, bowling, you know.
Because if you
Things like
could
that.
build something into your schedule, you like get her like some small
Yeah,
dumb
no,
thing, like every Friday or something. It'd be like probably nice because it's like she's saying she doesn't want like some grand gesture. It's just the idea that you were like she wasn't right in front of your face and you were thinking about her. Like that's the point of like one of those.
I get all that, and I acknowledge that, and I should be better about that. Like I do think like, you know, getting flowers for a girl, like you can go to doesn't need to be expensive. You just go to the grocery store. They're like $10, right? It's not like a
Well, then
huge
why the fuck are
expense.
you asking us for advice if you already know what
No,
you
I
need to do?
I wasn't. I was talking about the sandwich situation. Somehow we ended up here. I don't know.
Let's also look at it from
I already know the answer to that.
The other angle to this problem is also that familiarity really breeds separation. Like if you guys are always around each other, that's bad.
Yeah, but we own a business together. One part of a business, so it's kind of it.
You have
almost.
a business
Wait,
with a woman.
hold on. You own a business together. Whose parents was the business first?
No, it's started by me.
Oh.
No parents.
Wait, what's the business?
I do well, I'm not gonna dox myself, but I do like custom pet product type of thing. Yeah.
Okay, well that's cute.
You know, there's an ancient proverb that goes, "Never ever get into a business with a woman," and a woman said that actually.
That's an ancient proverb.
Yep.
Wow.
But you'll learn the hard way. We'll see you in a few years.
That's the last thing. Are you gonna put any time into the Twitter files? Because I think it's hyper relevant right now. Like we get a couple good YouTube videos on this.
I did at least one covering of the first ones and maybe the second ones, but damn, dude, they are just empty of anything.
Yeah, I know. There's not much substance there, but it's like just battling. Like the Republicans are just taking it to every.
I messaged Connor Points today and I asked him if he wanted to come on and chat, and he might after 7 because I really want to hear a conservative try to tell me what the fuck do you guys? What are you guys talking about for this shit?
I miss you so much.
We'll see what you guys are saying.
I also recommend role play. Do you do any of that?
What?
Your last bit.
Nope, not really my bag or our bag.
Uh-huh.
Well, I recommend it.
Our.
Some wine. And,
He's speaking a lot for her.
You could be Ganondorf. You could be whoever.
He definitely sounds like a guy who hasn't actually had the conversations and it's just
Zelda?
assumed and been like, "Oh, she must do that. Did she tell me?"
Or
Which is just
yeah.
true.
All right, that's it for me. Good luck, gentlemen.
Okay. Do you
Peace.
do all RP with Melina?
Yeah, when I'm
You do
fucking
any-
her mom, sometimes I'm like, Melina, quick.
You don't do any dad-daughter with Mel?
Daddy, daughter, DDGL shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, all that, all the time, dude. Yeah, how did you guess?
I guess I'm the liberal. That's what I do.
True. That sounds degenerate, actually.
Yeah. I mean, we're a product of our environment, Steven.
Sounds like it.
You don't bust inside, do you, Steve?
If I trust a person, yeah, of course.
You bust inside multiple people or just one?
Jesus Christ. Can we not have detailed conversations about our fucking sexual exploits here?
Okay, next caller will be
Steel.
Welcome to the
Ducky.
Blue Hair stream. Steel, unmute your mic. You've got 5 seconds before I send you back to Dungeons and Dragons. Thank you. Horace, you're on the dollar bill. Let's go.
Okay, so I have a big problem with John here.
Hit it.
Fucking Earth, you need to shut the fuck up with that shit.
Yes, sir.
You need to shut the fuck up with what shit?
Flat Earth.
Flat Earth shit.
What's your problem with why do you believe in the heliocentric model?
Because I don't have 5 brain cells.
Interesting. At what altitude do you see curvature, Horace?
I think shit. I don't even know what the.
Are
is it
you
like
a fucking
17 feet?
retard? 70 feet?
No, I didn't say 70 feet. There's a fucking video on it where they did a test on it, and the fucking flat Earth guy fucking disproved himself with it.
Are you a fool? You're falling for a fisheye lens?
It was the flat Earth guy camera. It was his own camera.
Oh my god. Dude, do you know that all flat Earth tests are done at 120,000 feet in altitude with corrected lenses, and it's always a motionless plane? This is not where you want to argue, you fucking idiot.
Okay, okay. So when the sun goes down on flat Earth, so when it's nighttime, where does the sun go?
Yeah, well, you can use a P900 camera and zoom in.
No, I'm asking you. So if you go outside,
answering you, my sir. Hey, Beta Male. I'm answering you. The sun is leaving your perspective. It's not setting. Do you know how train tracks leave your perspective? Are the train tracks setting behind the curve of the Earth? You fucking retard. No, they're leaving your vanishing point. Snap the fuck out of it, idiot.
What do you mean vanish?
Do you know what train tracks are, Horace?
No, I've never seen train tracks. Yes,
train
I know
tracks go into a point. You don't see them forever, Horace.
Yeah, because they pass over the curvature of the Earth if they're going over in a straight line.
Oh my God. Then how can you zoom when a boat passes over the curvature? How can you zoom back into the boat? You get a high-powered lens. You can zoom the boat back into your field of view. You fucking retard didn't even do your research. You're getting destroyed.
Okay, I'm getting destroyed. All right. So
Fuck else you got? No flat Earth. You embarrassed yourself. Ask something else. Fucking.
okay, I used up all my
How's
brain
the
cells
Mars
on that.
rover, Horace? How's the
What's
Mars
that?
rover? You believe in the Mars rover? You like your CGI Mars rover?
Yeah, I love my CGI Mars rover.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Matt Damon was there. Everybody was there.
Do you believe in Planet X and ET as well? You fucking retard.
Well, with the size of the universe, it's
Oh.
very unlikely for us to be the only
How big is the
intelligent-
universe, Horace?
billions of light
Infinite, or
years
is it an
across.
expanding infinity? Is it an expanding infinity? Horace,
There's
can you explain to me the
Can
definition?
answer your question.
The definition of an atmosphere, right? Can you have just ask yourself, can you have air in a vacuum? Can you have atmosphere in a vacuum? How the fuck can you have a
There's
pressurized
no-
system like Earth in the vacuum of space, Horace? How?
Gravity.
Oh my God. Gravity, the model that needs 90% black matter to be explained, 90% of it they can't explain? You fucking retarded? Gravity? How did they explain how things rise and fall before gravity, Horace? Explain me.
They
Explain me that.
couldn't.
They couldn't, or did they use density and
Gravity has
buoyancy?
always been there. There
They
hasn't been
used
an
that-
explanation for it.
Excuse me, young man. They use density and buoyancy. You're saying helium is a magical element, the only element that can beat gravity? A helium balloon is the only thing that can beat gravity because it's just magic? You fucking stupid. They explained it with density, buoyancy, and aerodynamics, you fucking idiot. You didn't do your research. You're not equipped for this debate. You're a fucking moron. You're losing a flat earther. You're getting humiliated. Ask anything. Go take the topic anywhere and you'll lose.
How much brain power did that take?
Let's go. What's your question? Go ahead. Hey, why don't you ask where's the edge of the flat earth? Why don't you ask that one?
You ask, okay, where's the edge of the flat Earth? Then I want to hear this one.
Where's the edge of outer space?
There is no edge.
Well, I guess we don't have an edge either, fucking retard.
There's an observable universe that we've seen that is technically, I guess, could be considered an edge.
Here, let me ask you this. Do you believe in Planet X?
I don't believe I've heard of that, honestly.
Okay. Interesting. And you don't care that all space photos are CGI? You just have no problem with that?
We mean all space
Why don't
photos are
you
CGI.
Why don't you Google planets from space and tell me which one is not CGI?
Planets from like pictures taken from like satellites in space.
You believe in satellites? You're such an idiot. 97% of Earth Wi-Fi is done through triangulation towers. That's why you lose Wi-Fi outside of the grid when you go camping. It's not because there's no satellites above the mountains when they're orbiting Earth in your fucking retard model, you idiot. That's why satellites were never built. They just magically appeared from a sci-fi book into reality. $100 million a fucking satellite? You fucking stupid? They're scamming you. You believe in the moon landing, you're an adult. Your wife's cheating on you and you're so gullible you don't even know.
And dug yourself in a hole there.
My dude, snap out of it. You're defending a military wing of the U.S., NASA, started by 25 Nazis and Werner von Braun. Snap,
Okay.
You're defending Nazis and you think you're the good guy.
Okay.
You came in really hot and now you look like an idiot.
Well, I know I'm not the idiot because I did more research than just looking at fucking 20-minute YouTube videos. So
Well, then how come you can't beat a flat earther in a debate?
because you're just rambling about nothing.
You didn't answer anything. I answered all your questions.
I couldn't answer anything because you kept fucking interrupting me.
Okay, can I ask you something?
Ask me something.
How come there's no scientific experiment that ever proved Earth's in motion?
There is.
If you and I stay on a helicopter for 10 hours, do we land on a different spot because the Earth rotates?
No.
Exactly. And you would say it's because we're moving with the atmosphere and the Coriolis, right? You're a fucking
Okay.
idiot.
What
'Cause then you
experiment
wouldn't be
proves
able
your
to
point
travel.
on that? What experiment proves your point on that?
Michelson-Morley experiments prove I'm right. Einstein, who said the Earth is an observable, motionless plane, proves I'm right. Physics is real, but quantum physics is your religion. It's phony. It's garbage.
So, like, the theory of general relativity is fake or real then?
Well, let me ask you, do you believe truth is subjective?
Well, truth, I guess, some truth can be subjective, yes.
Do you believe truth is subjective and you're an adult?
Like I said, some truth.
Who in chat believes truth is subjective? I mean, I know libs do, but this is ridiculous.
It depends.
If a tree falls in a forest, but nobody saw it, did it fall?
If it actually fell, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
But so like if you have, I don't know, it comes to religion. I guess that could be a subjective truth, religion.
Okay, I thought we were talking about flat Earth, but okay, what's your problem?
You talked about truth. You didn't talk about what truth.
Here, you know what? You know what's interesting about religion is religion talks about a flat Earth. NASA doesn't, but they do in their research papers. They do in their military papers. Isn't that funny?
Do you have links? Do you have links to those? Do you have links to those?
Yes, I do. It's all on my YouTube channel. And another thing, why does every single airplane use a computer for emergencies that has a flat Earth equidistant map? It doesn't use a Mercator. It doesn't use any other map. It uses the ice wall map. Why, for emergency landings, for autopilot, does it use a flat Earth map? Why?
I don't even know what a flat Earth map looks like because I don't really research into that much.
Okay, do you know what the United Nations flag is?
Yes, that's
how the continents are spread out. Right?
Yes.
Yes. So think of that and search up equidistant map, the only map that's considered scientifically as is, as in it's accurate. That's the map used to travel. Now, you don't have to be a flat earther, but you know that they use that map. You don't have to be a flat earther, but you know I'm right. You can Google this right now. You'll never Google it. You'll never Google it.
I'm doing it right now.
And you know what's your problem? You think I believe in a disc flying through space. Space is fake, my dude. Earth is the basement of the universe. Earth is the biggest thing there is. That's it. That's it. Planets come from the word wandering star because planets are just wandering stars. Zoom into a planet with a telescope. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I have, and I've seen
planets look like you can step on them. They look terrestrial to you. Are you fucking joking me? Admiral Byrd, the first person to travel to Antarctica, says there's more land. Any which way 180 degrees north is south on a compass. A compass is a flat Earth instrument. Snap the fuck out of it. You're never gonna win.
Who told you that? Ye? Did Ye tell you that?
Sure. Where's the South Pole on a compass, genius?
South Pole on the compass? It's opposite of where north is pointing.
Are you serious? Right? You're an adult saying that?
Are you an adult saying what you're saying?
You're saying that a compass is not a flat Earth instrument.
No, it's not.
Oh my God. How old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30 and you still believe in the moon landing, correct?
Yes.
You believe that Richard Nixon spoke to astronauts 240,000 miles away on a landline telephone. Is that correct?
Yeah, because the telephones don't always, like, even if it looks like it's a landline phone, doesn't always have to be like connected to a landline. It could be connected to another computer or machine that transmits data.
You lose Wi-Fi in the city and connection, but you believe in a Mars rover that sends pictures 200 million miles away.
Yes, because we have specific.
To be the dumbest fucking retard I've ever.
We have specific satellites and specific communication devices to pick up that information. Wi-Fi is kind of like
satellites, dude. They've been debunked. You're fucking green screen.
Who? Debunked by who? Like Ye?
No. They've been caught doing underwater ISS CGI to make it look like they're in space. They haven't left low Earth orbit because there's a dome. When you open a can of Sprite, it goes. Why does it do that? Because it's pressurized. It has a cap, just like Earth. Earth is pressurized. It has a cap. It's not flying through infinite space, you fucking idiot. Just think of the yin and yang model. The sun and the moon are small, the Earth is big. You're not revolving around the sun. You're not heliocentric. That's a lie. Your sun is CGI on Google. The sun is electromagnetic. Tesla knows that. But you believe it's a burning ball of gas in a vacuum. It's just rich to me. Like it's Masonic science. You work for Balenciaga. You're an idiot.
Okay, I'm not getting that paycheck then. So,
And you know what? I might be seen as a bully for going hard at you, but you
No.
started it. You started
No.
it, sir.
that was going hard on me.
I mean, you kind of just stuttered.
Your mom went a lot harder on me last night. So,
Yeah, when she was pegging you.
yep, because I told her to.
Yeah, you did. That's what you libs do. You guys get pegged, and you think you're the winner of that.
But you don't get pegged.
No, nobody who gets pegged enjoys it.
Why not? That's a
that's
subjective
even-
truth. That's a subjective truth.
No, you're getting pegged to show off. You're trying to impress her. And it's like, you're not impressing her,
getting
bro.
pegged flex. Remember that, boys?
Nobody who
Getting
got
pegged
pegged
is the
enjoyed
biggest
it.
flex.
Have you been?
What else you
pegged,
have for
sir?
me?
Horace, have you been pegged for real?
No, I haven't.
Why? Why not?
I don't know. Just not the right time. Got my ass ate though. That was pretty nice.
Did you kiss her after?
Yep.
You kissed those shit particles?
Yep. My own ass. Big Chad.
You're like so confident about it too.
Hell yeah. Going up to that shit, man.
That's
Why the fuck
cool.
would I be scared about my own sexuality?
Well, but I don't think ass eating is a sexuality. I think that's you're deranged.
I'm deranged. Why?
Do you make out with
I
the
think I'm not
toilet?
deranged for owning up to it.
Do you clean the toilet and then make out with it?
No. Not my thing. I'm sure there's somebody who is into that stuff.
I bet you eat the box too.
What do you mean eat the box?
Like you eat them out, don't you?
What? Like my wife?
Yeah.
Go down to Tuna Town? Hell yeah.
Yikes. You know,
Later
like
the better. That's all I'm gonna say.
99% of people who went through divorces ate the box. Men who don't do that, they don't go through divorces. It just doesn't happen. There's a respect there. Like
So
you'd
you
be on
saying-
you'd be on your knees. You'd be on your knees being masculine.
Oh, I'm not. I wasn't on my knees. What if I picked her up and I was standing?
You're a liberal. You can't pick her up. Come on.
How do you know I'm a liberal? You didn't even ask me if I was a liberal or not.
Well, you believe in fucking Mars rover, dude. Come on.
That makes
you
me
know
a
what?
liberal?
There's a lot of right wingers who love NASA, so I guess you're right. But I can sense in your voice you're a nihilist, right? You don't have God.
No, I'm what is it?
Agnostic.
Agnostic. There we go. Yep.
You have the ideology of the canine. You're like a dog. You just don't care. You just want to eat and fuck. You just don't care. You're like a dog.
No, I used to be religious until it was cringe.
Why did it become cringe, sir?
Because I realized how racist, at least my religious community, how
What did
racist they
Jesus
were.
say- what did Jesus say that was racist?
I didn't say Jesus. I said my community.
Hey, what were you a part of?
Seventh-day Adventist.
They were racist, you saying?
At least my church was.
Maybe join a different church.
Pass. Organized religion isn't really my thing.
Why? You'd rather play StarCraft?
No, I don't play StarCraft anymore.
Because like nobody just exits a religion. You trade it for veganism, liberalism.
Nope,
you
not
trade it for
vegan.
something.
If
You're a
anything,
vegan?
Seventh-day Adventists are vegetarians.
Are you a
That's like
vegan,
what-
sir?
No, hell no.
Are you a vegetarian?
Nope.
Okay, it sounds like you need some red meat in your diet.
I just had red meat. I just had some big old Mickey D's.
Okay, that has human flesh in it, dude.
Even better.
What's your take on Balenciaga, Horace?
Who the fuck is Balenciaga?
Oh,
I touch grass on a regular basis. I don't know who the fuck these people are.
Horace, I need you to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior right now.
Why? What is he gonna do for me?
There's always something in it for you, isn't it? He's gonna save your soul.
Save my soul.
Yes, from your Baal
what?
worship, from your hedonistic Baal worship.
I'm Why would I need him? I'm pretty happy right now without him.
You don't seem happy. You seem frustrated.
No, I'm not frustrated.
You came in here and totally attacked me. You're a
I'm
malicious.
here for sub. How can I be frustrated?
I don't know. You attacked me, and I was just like a nice guy, you know.
I don't know. I just felt like going a little hot there for a second. I'm cooled off though.
Did you vote for Biden?
No.
Why?
Because I'm not Democrat. He has done some good things, but
interesting.
Personally, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at on the political scale. He, like I said, he's done some good things. He's done some things I don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a raging Republican. Then went to Libertarian.
With Trump or with the?
No, this was back in 2011.
Okay, so you were pro murder. You're pro all those Middle Eastern wars.
Probably, yeah, I would say so. I don't really remember that far back.
See, those are the worst kind of Republicans. Is like, you should repent. You know what I mean? Being pro Middle East wars is so.
Well, I think I repented by not being pro Middle Eastern wars anymore.
Join the Orange Man. That's the final step.
Why? What has the Orange Man ever done for me?
Well, you see,
other than have the stock market good for a little bit.
Because he is pro family, sir, and you are
pro family.
You
okay.
are pro family too.
Pro family.
Yes.
Yep. I remember that. He was very pro family, hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. That's for sure.
I mean, billionaires stay with shady guys all the time. Nobody said he's Jesus.
A lot of people think he's Jesus.
Well, I don't. And when
are you sure about that?
Well, try and link Trump's name to children. It's very easy with Biden, but try and do that with Trump. It's very hard. Trump hates kids.
I don't want to look up Donald Trump and children. I'd probably put myself on a list.
Okay, final question for Steve.
For Steve?
Someone said, is Zerka married? No, bro, I date e-girls. Yeah, go
ahead. For Steve, Destiny, the man, when are you going to play Dwarf Fortress?
Maybe after I beat Factorio, but probably not.
Okay, next. We need the next guy.
Well, if you want to go full autistic, you need to play Dwarf Fortress. That's like on another level compared to Factorio, so.
Okay, I'll think about it, okay?
Okay, love you.
Guys, remember, questions for Steven only.
So you're still dumbass, bye.
Thank you. You're supposed to leave now.
Jeez.
Beta. Yo, if he said that to my face, Stephen.
Yeah, would you have fucking crushed him?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I'm not trying to get a lawsuit.
Oh, okay.
Just the thought of that, man. You can't convince others to follow the Lord. Really? Yes, you can. You just point to a liberal lifestyle and you say, is that what you want? I want to be like Destiny when I grow up. Welcome, Kadu. Ask your question directed to the blue hair SJW. Go ahead.
What's going on, guys? What's up, Zerka? How you doing?
Hello.
What's up, Dust?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I only paid the tier 4 because Zerka's in here, so you know what that means, Destiny.
What does that mean?
Zerka's got to stay around more. Oh. More Zerka in the streams.
Hell yeah, let's fucking go, Kadu. Kadu. And Kadu, where are you from? What state?
I'm from somewhere in New England.
I'm back.
Okay, little gay, but okay.
Just made a protein
how old are
smoothie.
you?
I'm 19.
How are you?
In an open relationship?
I'm not.
Let's go. Okay, and what is your question for Steve before we kick you?
Okay. Well, Destiny, I know that your love for Jake Paul runs deep through your veins.
Okay.
So I have a few political pundit matchups, boxing. I want you guys' thoughts and ideas of how these would go.
Okay.
You're done. It's over.
Wait, what do you mean?
This is
You want
fun.
Steven-
Zerka, I want your input on this too.
You want Steven to box? Is this serious?
No, he
No,
wants us
that's
to
not-
rank who would win in a boxing
Matchups.
match. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So the first one, what do you guys think? We got Dave Rubin versus Tim Pool. How does that go?
Tim Pool looks like he looks like a guy that was sick a lot when he was a kid. I'm gonna give that one to Dave Rubin.
Fair. Okay. Next,
I don't care. Sorry, I'm bouncing in and out today. Didn't even know if anyone's on the stream. But if anyone is, what's up? Hope you're doing all right. I'm chilling. I'm sorry, what? I am so actually curious.
And that's when I started planning to hurt people.
And so what I'm kind of hearing is that you were already being judged for being
Mhm.
guilty of particular things that you had not done. Welcome, my friend.
Well,
So let's start with this. Can you tell me a little bit about what you go by?
so I typically go by JC or Jeremy in the real world. So
Okay.
either is fine.
So thanks for coming today, JC. And I understand that you have a little bit of an unusual background or experience.
Yes, very much so.
And can you tell us a little bit about that?
So growing up, I hit a point in my life in middle school where I almost hurt a bunch of people.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about how you kind of got to that point?
So kind of TLDR, very unstable home life plus being bullied.
Okay.
And to give like a very quick recap, my older brother, when I was 6, was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Okay.
And my dad was retired Navy and a firefighter. So he only really understood rank and wasn't very emotionally available.
Okay.
He also had a video game addiction. So he would come home when he wasn't working and basically sit on the computer and play on a website called Pogo. So like card games and stuff like that.
Interesting.
And watch the TV. My mother was hardworking as well. My older sister was very controlling, and they were also very sheltering because of what they did as work.
What does that mean? Well, they were very sheltering because of what they did as work.
So my dad, as a firefighter, dealt with a lot of the worst parts of society sometimes. I remember one time I came from homeschool when I was about 9, and my mom stopped me and was just like, "Hey, do you remember that girl that went missing? Your dad was on the search party that found them.
Oh,
and
boy.
so you're going to be extra good today and give your dad space." So that was
Jesus.
when you have parents that deal with that type of situation fairly often. They're very protective of their kids because they don't want that to be their kid.
Interesting. So when your mom was saying you need to be extra good today, you're sort of interpreting that as them being protective of you?
Yes. So it's not necessarily of me, but just like don't cause any drama. Like, if you don't get the dessert you want, don't, make a big deal out of it. So more don't let drama happen that doesn't need to happen because your dad's already stressed.
I see. So for you to not add to the stress.
Yeah.
And complaining about I'm just a little bit confused because what does that have to do with being overprotective?
So just with my dad constantly dealing with like finding and dealing with kids in very bad situations and him not wanting me to end up in those situations, they pretty much didn't let me do anything outside of
Got it.
like to maybe a block away. So like always in visual range of the house.
Yeah.
Never going to birthday parties or something unless they were physically there.
Got it.
But they
So-
were always working all the time. So
That makes a lot of sense. What I was kind of just noticing is that it seems that, your mom was also placing some degree of responsibility on you for keeping things smooth because your dad was already stressed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's wild, dude. So it sounds like your family was quite understandably concerned about your safety, and you used, I think, the word controlling earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it sounds like you were, and that's what you would call an unstable home life.
There's a lot more that kind of comes with that just because, keep in mind, this is also the first generation with the internet and social media. So Facebook is literally coming out when I'm hitting middle school. So they don't know how to deal with that because nobody knows how to deal with that because that's never existed before. There's not a lot of good resources on mental health. So having a child that's diagnosed with this relatively new disease,
that's bipolar disorder. Okay,
Yeah.
and you said your brother was 6?
I was 6 when he was diagnosed.
You were 6. Okay.
So he was, I think, 11 or 12.
Okay.
And so everything that comes with that, it didn't make for a very stable or welcoming home life.
What does that? And if you don't want to share more details, about your brother and family, like that's totally fine. But I'm kind of curious, what comes with that? Because I've seen a lot of different responses to an 11-year-old being diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
So drug use, just very big mood swings. It could be fun hanging out, and then all of a sudden he's very angry, very rebellious. So a lot of arguing with my parents, and so I'm the little kid just sitting in the corner, listening to yelling matches in the living room.
And what do you remember about your experience of those things?
So a lot of it, I just essentially was just like, my job is just to stay out of the way and just not be noticed. And
okay, makes sense, right? Like, so like stuff is going down in the house, and you're not really sure. It's not your responsibility to deal with. You're kind of trying to be. You don't want to add to the. You don't want to pour gasoline on the fire, so you got to kind of just try to keep your head down.
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So couple that with school life. So in 2nd grade, I became a gifted kid.
My condolences. How did you become a gifted kid?
I was just really good at math, and there was like some test that they had me take, and like I was already doing like 6th grade level math in like 2nd grade. And they're like, okay, yeah, you need to be challenged more. And so we'll take you out of school for a week and put you in these other classes to challenge you
great.
more.
And what was that like?
See, my school didn't have that.
interesting. There was a
Not until
level of
later,
clout
but
that came
we
with
were
it,
all
at least
academically abused,
at like the young age.
kind of in that way. Like
As
we
it
all
got
were
older,
treated
it
that way.
became less cool.
If you were slower,
Okay.
you were just kind of pushed to the
Sounds like
side
you were a little bit
more
proud
than
of being
anything
a
else. It
gifted
was
kid, right?
rigorous like that.
Good for you.
So I feel that.
Yeah. So, but also, when you are a gifted kid, you tend to not develop those social skills and not already kind of have them naturally. So I like to IQ my way out of things. when
Help
I
me
couldn't.
understand that. What do you mean by tend to not develop social skills? How's that related to being gifted?
Well, I guess it had more to do with just my situation in general, with my parents being overprotective. Like I never went to a birthday party until I think I was like 12.
Wow.
And so, like, I didn't have anything outside of school when it came to social
That's tough.
interactions.
Okay.
Well, school and church, but church, there wasn't really much interacting. It was just sitting there and listening to the guy talk for the most part.
Okay. And do you mind if I ask what kind of church you were attending growing up?
It was a Southern Baptist church.
Okay.
Yeesh.
And what do you mean by, I was intrigued by this phrase, IQ your way out of things. Can you tell me about that?
So kind of think like character build, like you kind of stack up in one stat, like the IQ stat. And so it's like, I don't have social skills, but what I can do is study psychology and then be like, okay, well, I don't understand this necessarily, but psychology says if I do this, people will like me. And so it's not necessarily the intuitive social skills. It's taking more broad general things and applying the intellect to it.
Life is scary, man.
That was effective?
Much later on in life, there was a lot of other things that I had to deal with first, as we'll kind of get to.
Okay, sure.
So that's kind of growing up until middle school. And so this is where like that lack of social skills really started to show.
Okay.
And bullying became a very like daily part of my life. And then also puberty. I was also in the closet, and this is in the South in early 2000s, so there's not
Poor guy.
any type of positivity towards that.
Okay.
Or understanding of it.
Not even a try of understanding. Like it's just actively
So when you say
discriminating.
bullying, what did that look like? Why did it happen? Like, what's your understanding of how it started?
People figured out that I didn't have social skills, and so they would be just like, hey, like, this person likes you. You should go say this because they're into this. And then I'd go do that because I wanted friends, and then they would react negatively towards that interaction. And so it was like that type of things.
Okay. So they
as well.
realized that you could be taken advantage of, and if they told you to do something?
Yeah. So that worked for a little bit, and then it just name calling, and then that led to depression. And then there was just some really just outright bullying. We would walk to class or walk to lunch in a line. And so there was one time I still vividly remember I was carrying my lunchbox, and there were 3 kids that were literally trying to jump and stomp the lunchbox out of my hand with the teacher 3 feet in front of us. And the teacher was just like, y'all should stop. And like, that was their only punishment, was them being told to stop.
And did they stop?
They did it one more time and then stopped.
And what do you mean stomp on your lunchbox? Are you holding your lunchbox?
Yeah, so we're walking in a line, and so like it had a handle, and so I was just holding it by my side, and they were walking in a line. They'd run up and then like take their foot and try to get it in between the handle, and the rest of the lunchbox, and literally just tried to stomp it to the ground.
What kind of stuff did you take to lunch in middle school?
So I took a peanut butter sandwich, a bag of Doritos, and then some sort of like Debbie cake or zebra.
See, I wasn't allowed
One of
those.
those things. And I had that every single day from like the time I was like 5 up until like I think 11th grade when I finally started buying school lunches.
When you say peanut butter sandwich, was there jelly on there too, or was it just peanut butter?
No, just peanut butter.
Interesting. Wasn't that dry?
Yeah. I don't know why. I liked it. That's
Okay.
just, yeah. One of the very weird quirks I had that is inconsequential.
Interesting. Okay, so it sounds like you were bullied quite a bit, and I'm also hearing that maybe teachers didn't step in, or I mean, did people know you were being bullied? Like, how did people react to that?
Our town was very football focused, if that makes sense. So,
Why
very
don't you tell
sports
us
and
what that
athletics
means?
focused. So, basically, our entire town's economy ran around the high school football team because they were so good. They were nationally ranked. My sophomore year, we had a game that was 103-6.
Wow.
In football. So, like, that was, like, everything, like, the sponsorships, like, it was either that or the military base that was nearby.
Okay.
And so athletes got a pass for
GG. So you were saying that you grew up in a football town.
Yes.
And athletes got a pass.
Yeah. So one of the kids that was doing it, his dad was a coach of a different sport. And so, like I said, they didn't want to give up on sports because that was their big thing. And so it took a lot for athletes to kind of get actually punished for stuff.
Booga booga.
And so do you remember kind of what you were thinking, what you were feeling, what your experience of like going to school as a middle schooler was like?
So it was, my goal was just to survive for quite a while. And there was a point where just like the bullying just kept adding up. I remember there's one moment in particular where in gym class afterwards, I was getting bullied a lot because of, I think I dropped a pass or something, like playing flag football or something like that. But like, again, football town, so like that's a big deal. And I just remember all
by
of it
dropped
kind
a
of.
pass, you mean you failed to catch a ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I don't know if can't remember exactly what all was said. I just remember being so angry at being bullied and nothing being done about it. That I told someone was like, saw I was really mad and came up.
So
and
can
was
you
just like,
clarify?
Hey, what's going on? You look mad. And I was just like, I'm
Does-
going to do.
Does
this
that
thing to
mean
hurt
not
people."
catching?
And then he went and told the teachers, as he should have.
And this person was a peer of yours or an adult?
Yes.
Or what?
It was a peer.
Okay.
And so I got suspended for a week, and they held a council to decide what to do. And so they put me on some like probationary thing, once I came back from being expelled.
They held
or
a
from
council for a
being
week. Were you involved in that?
No, it was teachers and administrators being like, okay, like something led to this situation. Like, what was it?
And what did they? Do
so-
you have any sense of what they concluded?
I don't. All I know is that they said, hey, if you mess up 2 more times, then you're getting expelled.
Okay. So their response was punitive.
Yes.
And how did your family react to all this stuff? Like, kind of even tracking back, did they know that you were being bullied?
To a certain extent, but there was very much like this kind of toughen up aspect. Like, you just gotta not let it affect you, kid, and like they'll stop if you just don't let them get to you type mentality.
Okay.
I remember specifically, just to kind of further address the dynamic at home. When I was getting picked up from school that day, my dad said to me in the hallway as we were walking out was, do you know how bad this makes me look? And that moment's forever burned into my mind. And I remember walking by, and there was a chick that was on the tennis team with me, and I mouthed help me, because I didn't know what to do. There wasn't any type of physical abuse or anything going on. I want to make that clear. But there is just a lot of emotional neglect, and that really exemplifies what home life was like.
Do you remember how you so it sounds like you mouthed "help me" to an acquaintance, friend?
Acquaintance would probably be the best way to describe it.
Okay. And what were you thinking in that moment? Do you remember?
That was also the very first time I had ever gotten in trouble at school in general.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of emotions. It's just like, why am I getting punished for being bullied? Why is nobody who's
Why is that made
supposed
up?
to
That's
be keeping me safe? Why is it that my dad doesn't care about how I got to this point? He's
That's
only mad
that's
that
not.
it makes him look bad.
There's no way that's right.
That's rough, man.
So that kind of happened, and word kind of got out what I had said, and so
After
when I
this,
eventually
I'm
came
hitting the
back to
Benjamin.
school, it also got out that I could only mess up 2 more times before I got expelled, and so this is where the zero tolerance policy, when it comes to fighting, I think actually hurts in a sense. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's two kids are in a fight, it doesn't matter who started it, both kids get in trouble. And so kids knew, I can't fight back or I get expelled. I remember there was, I think 3 or 4 weeks later after me coming back, we were watching Remember the Titans for the umpteenth time. And this kid kept throwing this pin at the back of my head because we were sitting on the floor just trying to be annoying to me. And so I just set the pin, like I grabbed it and set it in front of me. And then he started pushing me, and then he started punching me in the back of the head in the middle of the class while we're watching this. And then we both get in trouble because the coach was like, you should have got up and moved. And so since both of you can't come up with a solution to have solved this problem, I'm writing both of you up. And so at that point, I had one more strike left. And that was for me getting punched in the back of the head in class.
And how did you, what were you?
That first,
how did you feel?
I feel that, man.
That's insane.
That's when I started to think, well, I've got to do something now. And then this is when the bullying really started to pick up even more because everybody was just like, he's got one more, and it kind of became
really like pushing you to the edge.
Yeah, it became almost somewhat of a sport to an extent. I remember like because of all this, like people were saying like you're gonna grow up to be a rapist, a murderer, a stalker, or gay. I don't know why all four of those are considered the same level, but Southern Georgia at the time. And so it was really building up to this point, and then that's
this is very triggering for me.
I kind of snapped, and that's when I started being like, okay, well, if that's what I'm gonna be when I grow up, they're already right about that last one. Why wait on those first three? So that's when I started planning to hurt people.
And so what I'm kind of hearing is that you were already being judged for being guilty of particular things that you had not done.
I got to start using two hands.
Thinking that you're a rapist, a stalker.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you mentioned earlier that you were in the closet at the time. So it sounds like you maybe were you aware of your sexuality at that point?
I was at that point.
Okay.
And
did other people know too, or was it just a general insult?
It was just a general insult.
Okay. So broken clock can be right twice a day, huh?
Yeah. You know, if you say enough bad things about somebody, you know, eventually one of them's somewhat true, you know.
And so I'm a little bit curious, like when you got written up by this teacher because the two of you had failed to come up with a amenable solution, like what was your reaction to that?
Well, like I was mad, like even more mad because I was just like, why am I getting written up for this? It's clearly no one's looking out for me, and I've got to look out for myself. And so like at that point, like even the like administrator who we got sent to his office, he was just like, well, that kid looked like he had remorse, and you look like you had no remorse for this situation. And so like I was being lectured. So
I see. So you didn't do anything wrong?
Yeah.
You didn't demonstrate any remorse because you didn't do anything wrong?
No, he didn't say that. He was just like, you didn't do any remorse, and so that looks even worse on you because he obviously was sad about the situation, and you're both written up for it, so you must have done something bad too. And so you're not willing to own up to what you did on that, and he
I truly hate the South
You've got
sometimes.
one more strike, mister, and so I don't know what you think you're doing causing all these problems.
That's crazy.
And so
the South.
Many failures at
Southern moments.
different levels of authority throughout my life. Kind of.
Did you try to explain?
Anytime I tried to, he was just like, "You're just making excuses." So
and by the way, that
is
is a very accurate representation, I would say, about what it's like.
Wow. And so I can imagine you felt quite resentful, or
very much so.
And what kind, like, what was that like for you, or what were you kind of thinking?
I can't pinpoint an exact time that this happened, but during kind of this period is when I started to have like in a disassociated state, and so I think like the easiest way to describe it for people who don't know what that is like if you've ever seen Yu-Gi-Oh, like the original series where there's like Yugi and then there's like the Pharaoh that's like a different person inside him that is having a conversation. It was very similar to that, and I kind of felt like two parts of me starting to split apart into like this very hyper intellectual and this very emotional person, and like them kind of fighting for control within myself.
And what was each one striving for?
It varied day to day. And so it was kind of like they were trying to convince each other who was right in this situation and what should be done about it. And so like once this kind of happened, sometime around then is when like it became very clear it was like separate. Like it was kind of like they were being pulled apart. And then all of a sudden it became like very separated between this very hyper intellectual, like just get through this, like, you know, you only got 5 years left, then you can move out and then never have to deal with any of this again.
That's
and
just,
then
just 5 years left.
Yeah. Only half of your life that you've existed up until this point left.
Yeah.
And then there's the anger, like, let's do something. And so, like, there was this very clear, like, split between the two at very, like, kind of around that point. And at that point, the kind of angry guy was winning. And so, like, the logical guy was like, okay, let's start planning our revenge. And then that's when...
And so vengeance is what you were looking for?
Yeah, so, like, at that point, like, because of all the bullying and what had been said about me, and this is, again, Cliff Notes version. These are just some of the highlights of many things that happened. At that point, I was just like, okay, like, let's start taking notice of things so we can hurt the people who have been hurting us. The administrators aren't doing anything to protect us. They're not going to do anything to protect them. This very vengeful mindset.
I didn't understand. They're not going to do anything to protect them. What does that mean?
That was just like the mindset I had at the time. It's like, well, they're not doing anything to help me. So if I do something to them, you know, they're just
they're like, it sounded like you were constructing a list.
Yes, there was very much a list made, and I'm not going to get into details as to, I think for obvious reasons, but I started planning, and I actually got through a dry run, and so, again, not going to go into any details, but I made sure my plan was going to work. And kind of tested it to a certain extent.
So can I ask you, JC, so like were there particular people that, like what would someone have to do to make it on the list?
Yeah. They were, like, the list kind of came immediately and it never changed.
Got it.
And so it was like, these are the people that are kind of like the ones that do it the most and the ones that lead everyone else to do.
And were you... And so I'm not getting the sense that you were like indiscriminately gonna hurt people. It sounds like you were really looking for something like justice or vengeance.
There was plan for collateral damage, to put it lightly, but those were the people I was going to make sure face justice.
So it was like justice in your mind.
Yeah, it was very much like, all right, this is it. Like, if this is all I'm going to be, why wait? You know, they were right about the gay thing, so they're probably right about these other three.
Might as
wait
well.
till yeah.
And what were the kinds of
Let me show them.
When I hear the word justice, I kind of think about like justice
people
for
want to see a
crimes.
school shooter.
And in your mind, what were the crimes that these people had committed?
Like bullying, lying about me, just generally making my life hell.
Okay. And so
like,
then what happened?
So I had gotten through my dry run, and then I was waiting for the next time for this to take place. to actually follow through with the plan. And a girl from a Fellowship of Christian Athletes decided to befriend me. And then over the next month, I watched her get bullied into oblivion out of talking to me and like being friends. But she stood up for like a good month and made an effort. And then that's when kind of my logical side of that disassociated state started to take control again and be like, okay, like, no, the world isn't entirely evil. And like, it started to push back against that. And so like, that's kind of that month is pretty much like the very singular thing that stopped me from following through.
So that's so interesting. Right? So you said that this person decided to befriend you. How do you understand what they? How do you understand that?
She literally walked up and was like, "I'm going to be your friend now." So, like, she kind of was tired of it. Obviously, with her Christian, tired of seeing me being bullied and everything that was going on. She was also a cheerleader, like, so she had some stuff to lose for befriending the weird guy.
Wow.
And so that really, it shook my worldview.
But why did she do that? What do you?
Because of her worldview. Because
which was what?
Christianity. So like helping out the least of these. That type of mentality. And so she didn't have the best way. She didn't have the PhD that she needed to help me deal with all my problems, but she provided community and enough of a challenge to the way I was viewing the world at the time to make me pause and think about what I was about to do.
How did you respond when she walked up to you and said, "We're going to be friends now"?
I didn't believe it until probably like a week later, and then watching her go through some of the same stuff that I had went through or that I was, being put through on behalf of me. And so
very Christ-like.
Yes.
and so what was it like? Like, what did people do to her?
Started rumors that she was doing favors for me, to put it PG.
The irony.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just, there. Anything that you can think of middle school insult wise,
wow.
They put her through it.
This was in middle, so she was like 13.
Yeah, so we were all 12, 13 at this time.
Not easy to do when you're 13.
No.
So
especially when you're a popular cheerleader.
Sure.
So like that, as Hallmark movie as that is, like that really did kind of again, it just shook my worldview. And that's also is about the time that I don't know if you know who Lecrae is. He's a famous Christian rapper, but he put out an album called Rebel, and it's very much like all Christian philosophy of like, here's the way the world is and why, and he does it in like hip hop, and like he's tackling like all these questions that I had, like why is the world like this and stuff like that. And so that's when, like, again, just it all kind of came down to like my worldview is very skewed at the front. And so that's what allowed me to think I should be able to do these things. And so it was that underneath starting to shift of my worldview that
before we
kind of helped me started to build a process to understand, okay, people are bullying me, but does that make it what they're saying true, yes or no?
Before we go down that road, can I ask you a couple more questions about this person? So when they started getting bullied, or when they started, so it sounds like people started rumors. Were there other things that happened?
People stopped hanging out with her, after lunch. Like we all had to like go through the line, sit down at lunch in a line, and then we'd go outside to like the little patio area after we finished eating to make room for the rest of the students to have lunch. And like people would stop sitting with her outside and social isolation.
How did that make you feel, or how did you understand that? What did you think was happening there?
Like at first I was just like, why is she putting up with this? Like what's going on? And then I kind of realized like 2 weeks into it, oh, this is happening because she's being nice to me. Uh, and so it took me a minute to kind of realize, like, okay, this is what's happening. And then that's what really, again, shifting the worldview is like the main thing that I think helped, or starting to question that is really what helped.
So, but how did you
deal with that.
understand? You know, if she's suffering because of befriending you, like, how did you understand that? Like, okay, so 2 weeks in, you're starting to figure it out. I'm responsible for this, or she's doing, like, this is happening to her because she's befriending me. Like, what did you think about that?
So part of it, I was just like, she's an idiot for doing this. But then two, it's just like, it's nice that somebody cares and is actually like not just saying it. And so like it finally like gave me some sort of like external validation that I was worth something.
Okay. So it sounds like you started to feel like you were worth something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and you mentioned that the shift in the worldview. So like, can you kind of describe for me before this happened, what was your worldview?
So at this point, I was very trying to think how. I think it's materialistic isn't necessarily the right. Naturalistic, I think, is the like best way to describe it. Where like
help me understand.
There is no supernatural. There is only the physical. Think Richard Dawkins-esque.
Okay.
If that makes sense, where it's just like we're all just dancing to our DNA.
Okay.
If you've read, of course, I quote the book and can't remember the name of the book, but it's one of his more famous ones.
And so like life is just, it's biologically like reductionist.
Yeah.
And what else did you kind of believe about the world? Like, what did you believe about like people and?
I just believe that all people were jerks looking out for themselves.
Okay.
And so
humans are fundamentally selfish?
Yeah.
How did you understand what was happening to you?
Again, just like everybody's dancing to their DNA type mentality. And so it wasn't necessarily them choosing. It's just like, this is all just a natural process. And so... which is kind of ironic, thinking like revenge doesn't even fit into that worldview.
Sure.
And so that also kind of gave me pause for thought. Like, I was just like, why would I want revenge if like this is all just biology?
Sure.
Or,
so it sounds like you started
around.
questioning that worldview, and one of the things you kind of realized is like, okay, like if
I
this
mean,
is
that's
just
one way to get
genes
out
and
of it.
DNA, then how can I blame them?
Yeah.
The way I got at that
What else
thinking was,
changed for you in terms
it's
of your
not that
worldview? You
hard
said it
to
was
just be.
rocked.
If
What-
it's
what were
that,
some of the
hu-
foundations
there's
that were
no.
kind of affected?
So
thing
the
that
main
God
one was
gave
just
me
that
hope
relational
is that it's
aspect.
actually
It's like,
very
okay, if
easy
everybody's selfish,
to be a good person
what was
and
her
to
motivation
do
for doing this? And then like seeing that
things.
actually played out, you know, the Christian faith to a certain extent just actually lived out in somebody. And so just experiencing that was like, okay, even if it's in their DNA, like there's still nothing that makes sense about that and why they would do that. And so this is when I just started to kind of question everything. Fast forward a few years, had a teacher named Mr. Jordan teaching AP government.
Always
and
the
it
AP
didn't
government
matter what
teachers.
Kid, JC.
Yes. It did not matter what your political philosophy was. He would challenge you on it. And so it was funny. Anytime somebody would just be like, spout some liberal view, he'd spout the conservative anti-point to it. And then a conservative kid would be like, yeah, that's right. And then he'd spout the part of the liberal view that the other kid didn't understand back to the conservative kid. And so his kind of whole philosophy is if what you believe can't withstand a question, it's not going to withstand life. And so that's when I really started to
If
be,
what you believe
again,
can't withstand a
gifted kid,
question,
IQing my way out of things. I
it
was just
can't
like, now I'm just going to
withstand
master
life.
philosophy and understand the world at the deepest level.
What?
And so that's when
Pause.
I just
Hold
started
on.
reading.
Wait a minute.
You know,
If you
about
can't,
Islam, Hinduism,
if you can't
uh,
if you can't
you know,
take a
all the
question, you
different
can't take.
sects of, you know, like Protestantism, Protestantism,
Whoa.
Reformation, the Catholic tradition.
Wow.
History.
That was bars.
I was
That
trying to
was some
construct
bars.
a
I'm not even gonna
worldview
lie.
that was consistent with reality and also consistent with itself. There was a lot of different worldviews that I saw that were just like, well, like if we're coming up with it, like that's very similar to like the naturalism worldview I had before, just pretending to be religious.
Okay.
And so just through all these studies and years of it, I kind of eventually settled on Christianity as like the overall worldview.
Okay.
That made the most sense.
And so it's what were the features of the world that you saw at that point that you were looking for? Like, so you were looking for a philosophy to explain a particular set of observations about the world, right? That has to be consistent with the world. So what were the
It's the Roadway Replay, the show about the deadly dangers of distracted driving.
Oh, I said it was
Time for the
done,
light.
but
The government steps in, and to my knowledge, says, "Hey, can you slow this down?" And Twitter says, "Yeah, but no problem."
I need tweets for that. And before you want to go and search, because you're not going to accept this, what you just said was not the case. There was
So tell me.
zero government intervention in the Hunter Biden story. That should have been. Now it's not, because you fucking conservatives are dishonest fucks, okay? But that should have actually been the headline for those stories. It was confirmed by Twitter leaks that there was no government intervention on behalf of suppressing that story.
Wait,
Did he just say that? Did he just say that? Said that. And now
no, fuck you.
Oh,
I'm
no.
blaming you, motherfucker.
Way
I'm blaming
before,
you.
way before.
Welcome to the show,
I'm about to get triggered.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay,
Appreciate
go. I'm leaving in like 30 minutes because this chess boxing thing's gonna start. My chat's gonna fucking spam like crazy about it, and I'm gonna get triggered if I stay here. So,
Okay.
You're okay. This has just been the conservative mindset has been fascinating to me. Okay, because you guys have all been creaming your pants over.
You can come in hot if you want. Go ahead.
Yeah, over this Elon Musk shit. I have never seen more nothing burgers, I think, in my entire fucking life. What is the...
I think this is fucking coke.
Tell me what... Can you... And I've got time, so I'll be patient. Can you, link me or talk to me about what you think are some of the most bombastic revelations of this?
To me, the biggest revelation
And I can wait
is
if you want
that
to dig through
people
and
will
find, because I don't
care
think
about
it's
everything
anything.
except
No, I don't give a fuck.
except
No, it's
active
let's go
treason.
off of vibes, okay? Vibe debate.
People will care about
so,
everything.
Studies are for
Laptops,
lab codes.
text messages,
So no, it's not like
everything.
we didn't
But people will
already know
ignore
that
straight
this
up
shit was
treason.
happening, right?
Well,
Pretty much
let's
the
specify
conservatives have been
what is this shit?
that people have been
Yikes.
algorithmically suppressed for the content that they created based off of political views.
Okay, so that statement has not been proven anywhere.
How do you think? Do you think that statement has not been proven?
Because I don't think anybody. Why are you
Do
asking
I
me-
need
wait,
to
wait,
pull
you
up
asked
the
me to prove a
half
negative.
dozen?
Yeah. Can you show me an example of this where that was proven? Because it wasn't. There was never, ever a tweet, I think, that proved that. But go ahead.
Okay, so if I pull up Matt Taibbi or
Yeah.
what's her dick faces, Barry Weiss's shit right now, you're saying that there aren't like half a dozen to a dozen popular conservative like profiles that are basically said like throttle this account.
That wasn't the claim. The claim was whether or not content was being suppressed due to the political nature, not if political accounts were being suppressed. Right? We have a full leak from the Twitter HQ discussions. So there needs to be more now that we've got this awesome Twitter dump. There needs to be more than just, wow, 10 conservative accounts got muted. Must be due to political reasons. I need to see some proof. Show me. What do we have? I'll wait for you to link these.
Why would so you're already the frame of this conversation is different than necessarily what's being asserted, but I'll if it's insufficient for you, we can go down.
with, you can say, Destiny, your demand for evidence here that they would explicitly call out political content is unreasonable, And then if you want to say that, oh, okay, that's fine. But then you have to say, so that means, Destiny, we have no more proof than we did before the Twitter leaks because the Twitter leaks.
Oh, that's
proves nothing.
bullshit.
Okay, so then tell me. Yeah, okay,
no,
go ahead.
it's
Then walk me
no,
through
it's
it.
you can say it's selective. You can say it's correlative. You can say that it's framed specifically to benefit conservatives. But I don't think like you asserting that this is like the same as before the release is bullshit. And can I put you? You've kind of narrowed the conversation down into a frame. Can I give you my frame?
Yeah, go for it.
And then maybe we can narrow it down from there. Okay, so my frame from this is that conservatives have been bitching for the better part of a half decade to a decade, saying on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, all that kind of stuff, all our shit is being throttled. Even if it's not specifically going against TOS, based off of the content that we're doing,
No one
we'll
has
have
denied-
one
no
thing
one has
that fucking
denied
hits
that.
us. No one has denied that. Do I need to go pull up fucking Hunter Avalon jerking himself off raw in front of an audience of conservatives, telling them that they're being pussies and that they're being fucking weak as shit
Let's-
because they think they're getting throttled?
Okay.
Do I need to pull up that conversation?
You're. I already see where this whole conversation is going to go. I'm sorry. I don't think that's. I don't think we're ever.
You're
gonna,
psychic?
No. Yes. The issue has
Okay.
never
Humor
been
me.
are conservative accounts getting hit. Everybody knows they do. The question has been, are conservative accounts getting hit because they're conservative? That's the question. That's always been the question. If it comes to like the major stuff of that's being policed on these social media websites, it's like COVID misinformation, climate change, election denialism. Of course, that hits conservative accounts more. But everybody knows that. That's not a secret. Nobody's denying that. The question is whether it's happening expressly due to their politics and not because they're violating these other policies. That's always been the question.
Whose question?
Everybody's question.
That's your question.
Wait.
What, you represent all of the conservatives right
Okay,
now?
hold on. But then everybody knows that Google is putting up warnings about like election and COVID misinformation. Everybody knows that affects conservatives more than Democrats. Do you think there's been a question about that?
Okay, so
I mean,
no, there
he-
hasn't been a question about that, but there's also been gaslighting from basically progressives and leftists and liberals saying like, no, it's not happening, bro. Just get good, just get better at the fucking algorithm. And you can't say it's exclusively COVID misinfo and fucking election
weren't
misinfo
saying-
because our mutually good friend Lauren Southern has experienced the throttling herself.
She
and
hasn't?
She has not.
Nope.
Do you want to bring her on here and ask her yourself if she believes that she's been throttled for content due to being a conservative?
I don't know if the problem with getting into a specific. Here's an argument that I remember having with her a long time ago. I remember that there's an off-stream personal argument where she's like, I think that conservative shit gets throttled, blah, 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 blah. And I said, no, you just suck at posting on your channel and you don't understand how the algorithm works. The problem is you post irregularly, the topics that you choose are sporadic, and you haven't built up a regular viewer base, blah, blah, blah. But my guess is that if you find a popular topic or you hit something, you can probably ride the algorithm just like everybody else. And like 1 or 2 weeks after that, she posted a video talking about the, I think it was the What is a Woman documentary, and she got like 500,000 views on that video. So no, her channel was not being throttled. She just has an old subscriber base that she let idle for 2 or 3 years for other reasons, not like shitting her content on her channel, but that was the thing that was keeping her from being able to like push out material to her fan base. But like, yeah, we can go, I can go through and watch, I can do this with August or anything else. Hold on, no, I just want to be clear, because you brought her as an example. There are a lot of issues with her YouTube channel. The biggest one being that she has an old subscriber base that was left to sit and idle for 2 or 3 years. I can find thousands of YouTubers that have these issues. It has nothing to do with her being a conservative. But okay, go ahead.
Okay. So my perspective on this issue would be that like, okay, so it's easy for me within the Overton window to operate because I'm basically within the Overton window, largely speaking. So I'm civic nationalist. I'm, I'm not like racist. I'm not transphobic for the most part. I'm barely homophobic, just as a funny way. So for me, it's actually pretty easy to slip into the Overton window because basically a lot of my beliefs are there. But there's a whole shitload of beliefs that are, you can call them stupid. You can call them whatever the fuck you want to call them. But pro-gun, race realist, anti-immigrant, anti-vaccine, all of that kind of shit. If you talk about that shit, you're gonna get fucking nuked. And on top of that, like, just I'm not saying that I'm even big enough to get throttled, but I isolated my political content from my Warhammer 40K content, and I also eliminated all of my shit, including my video about the Great Replacement. And basically, as soon as I fucking took all that shit off there, Warhammer 40K content took off like goddamn rocket fuel. In the political stuff, which, by the way, has shitloads of fucking positive feedback, shitloads of heavy engagement, shitloads of positive reviews.
Okay, fine. I
It's
accept,
highly edited.
Okay, I accept everything you're saying is correct. Then show me the tweets then where they talk about suppressing conservative content. Because they just released all the Twitter files, so it should be in there. So then just show me that, and then I auto lose the debate. You're about to destroy me. So link me the tweets where they're talking internally in Twitter, like, okay, we need to figure out, like, there's a lot of conservative content. We need to suppress this. We can't have conservative content on our platform. So just link me one of those, and I'm completely destroyed. You've blown me the fuck out completely.
Okay, so number one, I would need time because all I've been dealing. Well, number one, I'm a wagey, so if I had this full time, maybe I could.
Well, that's
do
fine.
this
My
a
whole
little bit
YouTube
more.
chat is conservative. I said I'll wait here for hours if you want to search through it. I've read all of these, by the way. So, but I'll sit as long as I might have missed something. But yeah, I'll wait. You can Google it. You
Okay,
can
and
search.
then
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. So how? Just out of curiosity, how long is the document?
Well, I read
The
like
Twitter
the
files.
tweet threads. Wasn't the first one like 36 tweets, I think, and then I don't
What,
remember.
Matt Taibbi and fucking
that shit. Yeah.
Barry Weiss.
I haven't. Read
Okay,
the
so
third
what do you
one, so.
what are you saying is the like objective thread where they just released everything?
Well, these are called the Twitter leaks because these are leaks that are containing like emails and shit from internal Twitter conversations, right?
Do you think that like so for instance, I communicate with my work friends all the time via professional email and professional Microsoft Teams. Do you think that when I'm communicating in those servers, I'm like, oh, these customers, they're a bunch of stupid bitches. I wish they wouldn't call. What a bunch of fucking assholes.
I understand.
Like, do
Yeah,
you understand
I
that they might say,
understand.
oh, we need to suppress this COVID misinfo, not hey, we need to suppress
Yep.
these conservatives?
Cool. I understand what you're saying, but then you have to go back to what I said originally. This is not a historic leak, and nothing has been leaked. I have to use the exact same assumptions and conjecture that I used before. Nothing has been leaked that's relevant then. Because you're telling me that, okay, fine, it was a historic leak of all the internal Twitter comms, but they didn't admit to anything. Obviously, they're not going to admit to it.
Well, hold on. So, but this is where I feel like you're walking into framing that I don't necessarily have. So my biggest butthurt, which I think would reflect in my tweets, my biggest butthurt about this, it might not even be a perspective that you've taken on in the past, but this is something that progressives have absolutely fucking done, and liberals have done too, which is basically you're not being suppressed, you just suck. Like that was absolutely a fucking
because I think for
line
a
throughout
lot
the past
of it,
half decade
I
to a
think for,
decade.
for a lot of it, that's true, yeah. But nobody, if people are saying this, they're wrong. But I've had these exact conversations. Nobody is saying that like you can just post like election or COVID or climate change misinformation because like you're literally getting shit that pops up on your videos. You know those videos are getting fucked in the algorithm, 100%.
Sure.
But like. But the idea that you're being suppressed just because you're a conservative, no, bro. People on the left,
that's never a frame that I've taken. That's like correlative.
You're just saying that right now. You're saying that conservatives are being suppressed because they're conservative, bro. Everybody complains about black creators are complaining that they were getting suppressed because they're black.
I've never fucking said that. Okay, so if I get on there right now and if I start taking like a libertarian gun position or like fuck the Fed, ban the Fed shit, if I fucking do a bunch of shit that correlates with libertarianism or right-wing fucking thought, it's going to be perfectly algorithmically fine because all you're saying, by the way, I want to point this out. What you're saying is that I'm saying that conservatives are being suppressed just for the nature of being conservative.
Yes.
What I'm actually saying is that conservatives want to have a broader conversation about a variety of topics that include topics that are wildly unpopular with progressives and liberals. And as a result of wanting to have those conversations responsibly or irresponsibly, they're being algorithmically suppressed.
Yeah, I don't think that's
They
happening.
were told
That's
that
not
they
happening.
weren't being algorithmically suppressed.
They're not.
And then it turns out that they fucking were.
Okay, show me that. Show me that. Show me that.
Okay, fine. I'll fucking look at the goddamn shit. But at the same time, like, I don't even know how this is deniable or how it doesn't even correlate with your fucking worldview. How is conservatives want to talk about like topics that are unpopular with the mainstream media and are not necessarily monetizable?
Okay, hold on.
Correlating with their algorithmic
Careful-
suppression. How
Careful,
is that
no.
not true?
Careful with everything that you're stacking on here, because eventually what you're doing is you're building your own demise. If you're saying like, well, they want to have conversations that aren't very popular with anybody, that a lot of people don't want to have, That doesn't sound like algorithm suppression. That sounds like the algorithm working as intended. If they're really unpopular points and nobody wants to hear them, stop. Wait, stop. Use your fucking brain. Use your brain for 1 second. If it's not a popular talking point and people generally don't want to see it or engage with it, then the algorithm is going to do its job and probably not show it to as many people because it's going to show videos that people do want to engage with. But that's not political or algorithmic suppression. That's the algorithm. What do you think algorithm means? What do you think is the purpose of the algorithm?
What do you think Stefan Molyneux and fucking Nick the Knife Fuentes have to say about exactly what you just said?
They didn't get algorithmically suppressed. They got banned from the platform.
And what do you think was happening before they got fucking banned?
I don't know. What are you implying?
I'm implying that basically what was going on is that their conversations about wildly unpopular subjects within the Overton window, like race realism or fucking Christian nationalism or whatever the fuck you want to talk about, was more popular than the platforms wanted them to be. As a result, they likely throttled the content and eventually they just banned them outright from the platform when they could find the fucking TOS violations that gave them the justifications in order to get banned.
I understand that's your position. Now prove it. Because you have zero evidence for that.
This is like saying water is fucking wet.
Okay, so you have no evidence. There's nothing historic in these Twitter leaks.
I haven't had the opportunity to read your objective evidence yet.
No,
and by the way, like this is another thing.
I can't give you evidence. You're the one making the positive claim. I can't prove a negative. Do you want me to dig through the millions of
Do you want me to go through?
ML
What's my positive claim, by the way? What's my positive claim?
Your positive claim is that the algorithm has been tweaked in a way to disfavor certain content, not because of how it performs with an audience, but because of the political biases of the people that work at Google or Twitter. That's your claim.
This is objectively true.
Okay,
this is so true.
Then show me any evidence at all for that. Now that we have the historic,
should I go to YouTube and should I check race realism in the YouTube algorithm? 922 views. The myth of race debunked in 3 minutes. 2 million. Critical realism applications. Race, gender, and intersectionality by Angela Martinez. 1K. Race realism. 471 views. Derek Bell.
1K.
912. Race realist joins T1T. 80K. So how is it? Oh, race realism by our good friend Jose. 80K. So how is it that schizo posters? How is it that schizo posters? No. Let me make this point. How is it that schizo posting right wingers are getting less than 4,000 views talking about the perspective, but then fucking leftists and progressives are getting 100,000 views dunking on the perspective? How is that possible?
Because y'all are clowns.
Now, notice how we had a historic Twitter files leak, and your evidence is now Googling and showing me like the view count for videos. I just want to see.
You want to engage with what I said?
No, you're not giving me an argument. I just want to see the.
I've given you a solid fucking argument.
Okay,
do I need to slow down and break this down? I'll slow down and break it down.
So wait. So then we acknowledge then there was nothing in the Twitter leaks. There's nothing.
No, absolutely not. I don't concede this shit at all. As a matter of fact, I would literally go look at the Twitter leaks. I would read them all, and then I would come back to you.
Okay.
But can you engage with what I just said? Because I'm gonna bust out a sticky note.
You're not giving me an argument. I don't know what you're arguing right now.
I'm giving you an argument. Okay, I'll break it down. I'll literally sticky note it. All right. I said conservatives, through virtue of what they want to talk about, lean towards certain unpopular subjects.
Also, the topics you're giving me aren't even conservative topics. These are like conspiracy theory things. What about videos critical of Biden? Why go through race
that's not
realism?
my argument.
Okay. What is your argument?
That some people want to engage in these conversations, and you can see the political divide between the two tribal groups, and one of them is fucking at 100,000 views, and one of them is at 4, despite talking about the same thing.
Oh, and your
how is that not evidence?
It's
Explain to me how it's not evidence.
I don't. What do you think an algorithm is? I need to find out what page we're on here. When somebody talks about like a searching algorithm, what does that mean to you?
To me, it means basically a search for keywords. For YouTube specifically, okay?
Good, how are you?
Keywords, engagement, positive and negative.
At 11:30.
I'm sorry?
Oh, what time did you leave yesterday? You were scheduled to be off work at 11:30.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's when I left yesterday. Did I forget to clock out?
You did indeed,
Oh,
but I cannot here for you.
I am so sorry about that. I am so sorry about that. Yes, and yeah, I didn't stay late or do anything. I was off on time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's your day. Look forward to seeing you here in store tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for calling me.
In a formula that then decides how popular a piece of content will be.
That was my boss.
When you say decides how popular a piece of content will be,
Rip.
can you explain what you mean by that?
All right.
Sure. Mostly agree with what you said so far. I'm just making sure we're
Guys, we're going back
So
to,
basically, if let's use YouTube as an example because it's something that you and I are both familiar
going
with, right?
back to Tetris.
If there's a huge click through, you have a good title.
I
right?
worked
You
for
have
I
a good
guess
title and a
a
good
total of 24
then
hours.
You have long engagement.
I was
Meaning
about
the
to get a
majority of
fat
the people who
paycheck.
click on
That
your
would've been
video
awesome.
watch it for a decent chunk of time. Then you also have good engagement, like you have a whole bunch of comments.
Sure.
People
okay.
are passionate about the
We
subject they want to talk about.
We largely agree. So, broadly
Yeah.
speaking, an algorithm is an incredibly sophisticated way of tracking user behavior when they're presented with certain videos. And the goal of any social media algorithm is to put more content in front of your face that you're likely to spend more time watching and have a positive impression of and more time engaging with in a variety of ways, right? Whether it's comments, thumbs up, whatever. That's what quote unquote the algorithm is, right? When people talk about like algorithm poisoning or being a bias in the algorithm, what people are saying is you have a video that otherwise could do really well, but YouTube has decided to suppress that video, right? Now, there are some forms of this that YouTube does that we know happens. So for instance, if your video gets flagged as being like adult content, right? You're fucked, right? And I'm sure there are videos you've seen where when you go to click through it, it's like, warning, this might have adult content. Or maybe you upload something and it's like, warning, this has been flagged as adult content, right? That's a form of algorithmic suppression, yes? Okay. We also know that there are certain, like, I'll say broadly speaking, conspiracy theories that YouTube also openly algorithmically suppresses. So the big ones that I was aware of were things around climate change, things around the coronavirus and vaccines, basically anything that causes like that little thing to pop up underneath where it's like, read more information here, this may be misleading or whatever. Those probably get fucked with by the algorithm, right? Race realism might fall under that. I don't know if that's like one of their identified conspiracy theories, okay? However, what I don't know is, does YouTube say we're going to suppress this guy's content because he does political content of a nature that we don't like? That's what I don't know. And that was the proof that I was looking for in the Twitter shit or in YouTube shit or anything.
There's a sub point here though, and also there's like a question that's being asked like by the nature of our conversation. So number one, the question that's being asked is, should certain stuff be algorithmically suppressed? So for instance, if Stefan Molyneux and Nick Fuentes were like wildly popular
100%,
despite spreading what you believe to be misinformation or whatever, and they basically are able to achieve like a race realist, neo-Christian nationalist, theocratic fascist coup because they're just so wildly popular across the entire country, should YouTube and Twitter just sit idly by while they get popular off of what a lot of people view to be lies or propaganda? So that's like a question that's like
if it gets
over our entire conversation that you and I are having right now.
Sure.
Right?
Then this is a little rant. If it hits on the algorithm, right? If more people like this guy's literally arguing for the sake of most people don't want to watch his fucking content, right? He's talking about these people that are having 8,000, this much. The way YouTube works is not based off of a political leaning thing. It is based off of what hits and what doesn't hit. That's how most of those algorithms work. So his argument is basically just him arguing that their sides aren't popular with the general masses. And what he's mad about is that it's actually not skewed towards conservatives' favor in a way. He wants some sort of push by YouTube to push his view forward. And that's just hot garbage. Next.
In the frame that you're doing right now, you're identifying like a variable, and then I'm going into sub variables. So the variable that you're saying is, of course, conservatives aren't suppressed. Ben Shapiro is popular. Steven Crowder is popular. Fucking Lauren Southern, despite all her edgy bullshit, she's popular. If they just rode the algorithmic wake the way that everybody else does, then they're not beholden to any more suppression than anybody else who talks about controversial subjects. I think that's true. But under that concession or whatever, there are subtopics that fall under conservatism, whether you're talking about racialism or Christian nationalism or isolationism or COVID fucking vaccine information or whatever. All of those subtopics correlate with being conservative to a very strong degree, and as a result, those groups are being suppressed. You can say it's just because of those variables, but then you don't really have opposition. You have controlled opposition.
But it's like those aren't debatable. You realize that, right? There are certain things that you're complaining about that aren't debatable, that you
I don't think I
are the
understood
conspiracy.
the last part. So you're saying that it's upsetting that there are certain topics that that tend to be conservative that they can't talk about, right?
No, that's actually, so to be honest, that's not even upsetting to me personally. I probably land within the Overton window through me. I've talked to Lauren about fucking COVID shit all the time. I think she's a fucking lunatic about some of it. But at the same time, whether or not you should be able to have that conversation in public is a different question. Whether or not you should be able to do it on YouTube or Twitter or Twitch, or even to forward more conservative shit like zero immigration. What about somebody forwarding zero immigration makes it so they should just not be able to talk about that subject on the internet without that topic being severely beat down by the algorithm?
What is somebody? Are you asking me why it should be suppressed, or?
Sure. Yeah, that's actually what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Why should some of these edgier topics be suppressed?
So, if I had to guess, based on everything that's happened, my guess is that social media companies are deathly afraid of being ultra regulated by Congress, that Congress is about to step in and start to fuck their worlds up. And so they're trying to be proactive in getting rid of some bad stuff off the platforms because they know that if they're not, Congress is going to step in and start to do it. And that's probably what they're deathly afraid of. That would be my guess.
Okay, I agree with you. I think it would probably be more about monetization than it would be about Congress. But either way, they're afraid that third parties are going to come in and tell them how to do their jobs differently. They don't want to do that as a result, because they want to make more money and they want to be more visible. Okay, we can disagree on that. So my point being, though, is there's also two tiers of conversation. There's monetizable conversations, which are basically conversations that should have money attached to them, marketing, advertisement, and all that kind of stuff. And then there's also conversations that should be had for the sake of public discourse. So basically, what would be interesting to me is if we made a two-tiered system where basically YouTube said, hey, you can't talk about race realism or COVID denial or election denial or whatever and be monetized, but we're also not going to algorithmically suppress it. So I'm not saying that's necessary. I'm saying that would be interesting. And if you go to my Twitter profile, what I'm flossing on basically is not whether or not, for me, I feel like we're splitting hairs. It's not whether or not this shit is happening. To me, this is obvious. You're saying you need more evidence. Love you.
Well, no. What I'm just saying is because I don't know what was released that was so historic about these Twitter files that we didn't already know. And everybody's acting.
Well, I think we already knew it. I think people were just pretending it didn't exist.
No. I mean, when I say no, I mean in the real sense, not in the conservative sense. We all know that fucking children are being raped by Hillary Clinton. I mean, actually know. Real life adult people know, right? That all of a sudden there was a whole bunch of information. It was oh my God, we just discovered something new. There's a new fact that now we know 100% actually happened. I don't know what those new facts are. It seems to me nothing new has been released. Nothing new has been leaked. Nope, there's no information we'd already know. But that's what I'm curious. What is it?
I'll pull it up.
Okay.
I'll pull it up. So let's find Matt Taibbi Twitter files, and your editor can just do this later, and chat can fucking see. Thread, the Twitter files, the removal of Donald Trump. That's not the one we were looking for, right? Isn't there a better one?
I don't know. The Hunter Biden thing was a big thing that everybody said was a huge bombshell, but I didn't see anything.
Ooh, okay. Let's just do that because I'm already familiar with that one.
Good. Okay, great.
Okay. So the son of the president, somebody who's running for the general election, he basically has his laptop left at a tech store.
Yep.
The tech store releases it to somebody. That somebody starts posting all the shit as stories, and then the government steps in, and to my knowledge, says, "Hey, can you slow this down?" And Twitter says, "Yeah, boss, no problem."
I need tweets for that. And before you want to go and search, because you're not going to accept this, what you just said was not the case. There was
So tell me.
zero government intervention in the Hunter Biden story. That should have been. Now it's not, because you fucking conservatives are dishonest fucks, okay? But that should have actually been the headline for those stories. It was confirmed by Twitter leaks that there was no government intervention on behalf of suppressing that story. That was a decision that Twitter made internally, all on their own. But I'll wait if you want to find something different for it.
Okay, hold on. All right, so this is where I feel like we should probably come back to it when I can fucking read it, but don't be surprised if I want to come back to it. And if you say no, I'm gonna be a little pissy on it.
Connor, I'm about to dip, but I want to pop in here just to challenge you to do something during this conversation that you're having with Destiny, this ruminate. You and I talked very briefly.
Ball sacks. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You and I talked very briefly on Twitter last night about this, but Twitter did an internal audit of this last year, and algorithmically, it's overwhelmingly clear that conservatives are amplified on Twitter. So I think that
amplified or naturally popular.
Wait,
did he just say that? Did he just say that? Wait, now you want to have a sophisticated conversation about what the algorithm does, but before it was 100% definitely shadow banning and algorithmic suppression? Sorry, I'm done. Finish your conversation.
They were not able to verify as to whether or not
I told you. Whoever's in this chat, I fucking called it
it's
too.
getting any views, even though it's really unpopular. I think it was because they were suppressed. And I'm like, well, maybe it's just really unpopular.
I want you to say this with your whole fucking chest, okay? Because seriously, I feel like you're dancing right now. So, are you saying?
Wait, no. Hold on. Let me finish. Wait, let me finish. You can't just say I'm dancing when I'm being clear as day.
Okay, so allow me to be clear as day in response. Are you saying that if Nick wasn't fucking banned or throttled, or if Stefan Molyneux wasn't banned or throttled, they wouldn't be 10x more fucking popular than they are right now?
They probably would be if they weren't banned, yeah.
Okay, so you're just saying that they put out their content and then it just free flows? That whatever their popularity when they were finally banned was the same?
They got banned. Bro, why do you keep comparing banned with YouTube or Twitter algorithmic suppression? They're banned. Why are you comparing these two things?
Okay, let's go down to brass tacks. Sorry.
Yeah,
dude,
so I think you need to square that, Connor, especially because the the general right wing position is that conservatives are being suppressed and conservative views on Twitter are being suppressed when actually there's evidence to the contrary. And in these Matt Taibbi links and the Barry Weiss links, you're talking about a handful of cherry picked examples.
I'm going to lose it. All right. So what do you mean when you say amplified?
That the algorithm will amplify right-wing accounts to a greater extent than left-wing, that they constantly show up in people's feeds more, that there's more engagement.
Why?
They don't know. And we talked about this on Twitter. You asked me that question, and I cited the article. They were not able to determine that yet as to whether or not that it was a result of just superior audience engagement, that right-wing viewpoints are just genuinely more popular than left-wing viewpoints, which seems unlikely but possible, or if it was some sort of issue.
Can I tell you why? Because right-wingers get hit twice. They get hit from their audience circle jerking themselves to fucking death, believing everything that the fucking dude says. Yeah, king, go off. Yes, queen, love you so much. Then they also get fucking hate piled by progressives who feel like they run the fucking site. And then those people fight.
Why would that be exclusive to right-wing content as opposed to left-wing content?
Because progressives all fucking agree with each other and they love circle jerking. And conservatives are too exhausted fucking having a normal goddamn life and having kids and paying bills to spend 80% of their fucking lives on Twitter fighting
Hold on, first of all,
so wait a minute. Right-wingers don't hate watch and the left.
Wait. These same conservatives that are too busy doing crazy shit and have bills to pay were the people that originated fucking QAnon, okay? So calm the fuck down, all right? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, look, that may very well be the case, but that strains credulity to me, the idea that, number one, conservatives don't hate watch left-wing content, and number two, the idea
How do conservatives hate watch?
Say what?
How do conservatives hate watch?
Look
do
at how
they
many
watch
of them
Hassan?
Look at how many of them are meat watching Hunter Biden, bro. These guys have like more collection of Hunter Biden dick pics than
How do they watch
anybody on
it?
the internet.
How do they look at Hunter Biden's penis? Do they look at
What
Hunter
do you
Biden's
mean,
penis
how?
by? Because they fucking go to Steven Crowder, or they go to Fleckus, or they go to another fucking conservative who's already gone through the
Conservative
fucking
site,
trouble
exactly.
of compiling all the information. So they're not going into progressive circles in order to fight progressives. They're going into conservative circles in order to find the information that they feel like finding. This is all Sargon does, by the way. All he does is compile, or used to anyways, all he does is fucking compile progressive bullshit to be easily fucking digested by a conservative
Fuck.
audience that isn't any more
I got a
curious
hand cramp.
to
I gotta
engage
say a
with
sec.
progressives.
All right. Well, so again, the theory that you proffer may be the case. I'm not a conservative, so I don't know how you guys hate watch versus how progressives hate watch. But
I'll tell you, there are
But-
very
but-
few
but-
conservatives
but-
who are watching
Wait a minute.
fucking Hassan
but
Piker from
the
a
bottom
first-person
line is
perspective.
the people doing the internal audit at Twitter were not able to identify the reason. But the facts are that that in 7 out of 8 countries examined, left-wing politicians were amplified to a lesser extent than right-wing politicians. And in terms of U.S. media, they were right-wing media outlets were amplified to a greater extent than left-wing. So my thing is, during this conversation with Destiny, you need to find a way to square that, because it seems to me that your general thesis is that the right is being squashed and has been squashed on Twitter, when that's clearly not the case. Now, if you want to make a more nuanced argument that some conservative topics are treated as taboo by the pre-Musk Twitter establishment, that's a completely different argument. But the
And also,
problem
would
is,
it
I
be
think
in
this is the
spite of-
problem that Destiny has too. Maybe I'm wrong, which is that conservatives are taking this and blowing it wildly out of proportion. See, conservatives have been silenced left, right, and center. The left has a huge advantage on Twitter, and it's just not true.
Okay. So I would say that conservative popularity is like Streisand effect and relatively natural. So one of the things that we're talking about that I want to isolate, you're talking about it's what's the word that you're using where it's like enhanced? What was the word that you said? Amplified. So
gonna mute. Go ahead. I'm
amplified,
gonna mute.
amplified to me means that there's an artificial means through which the message is being spread. It's being made louder. But you haven't said that there's an artificial means for it being spread. You're just saying that it's naturally popular.
I think that's what
I
he,
would
I
say
think that's what he
conservative
is saying.
success.
That's what he is saying.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so conservative success is in spite of the algorithm,
No,
not
no,
because of the algorithm.
He's saying that
Hell
it's
yeah.
no.
Or
You're just
artificial-
making that
artificial
up, though.
shit of
but
the
you're,
algorithm.
You're
Yeah.
making that up. You're just making that up.
Okay.
Because if it was the case that conservatives were being suppressed, then it seems like they wouldn't be getting amplified.
What kind
Correct.
of conservatives, man?
They don't know. Twitter doesn't know if the amplification is a result of either just greater popularity for right wingers, which is possible, but again unlikely, or a secondary effect, which is that the algorithm and the coding that goes into Twitter, somewhere along the way in the zeros and ones, just happens to favor conservative
Sure.
accounts.
But he's
They don't know.
wait,
I'm gonna flip the argument.
He's just
Yeah,
saying that it's
go
not
ahead.
happening just because they're conservatives, right? Like nobody is like flagged the accounts saying, "Oh, you're going to get amplified because you're conservative," right? That's not the argument that's being put forth.
Yeah, he's just saying they're naturally popular.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
yeah.
I'm here to steel man Connor because I don't think you're making this argument very well. Destiny said he wanted to see the evidence.
Everybody can
Stop.
eat a fucking
Stop.
dick. You come in
Listen,
like
Destiny said he wanted to see the
fucking
evidence.
pussy.
Listen, there's evidence that exists that supports your argument, and I just want to see you use it because I want to hear Destiny's arguments against it. I DM'd both of you guys the part of Barry Weiss's Twitter thread, right? Tweets 3 through 6. You've got conservative commentators that have tags on their profiles that say "Do not amplify." What is that if not an artificial manipulation of whether or not their content gets amplified through the algorithm?
I'm going to repeat the exact same thing that I said earlier, okay? The original claim, now I know the goalposts want to run all over the place, okay? But the original claim was that there is content that is being suppressed on Twitter because of the political leaning of the tweeter. Because of the political nature of the content.
I've never made that argument.
Okay, then you guys have nothing then.
You're such a. It's so much cope because that's exact. I guarantee you. I'll bet my fucking life right now. I'll bet every fucking dollar that I own that I know that you've made. I bet a million times you said in the past. Oh my God, conservatives are being censored because they're conservative. Oh my God, it's the political censoring of conservative ideology. I know you said that. And now
I spend more time fighting conservatives than I do jerking them off. You don't fucking know me.
But that's fine. So, but now your claim.
How much money you want to bet?
You're fine. Your claim has been baby walked to something so harmless that nobody gives a fuck. And then my original point that I said still stands. So nothing here was leaked that was important. Nothing changed any of our understanding of anything. No new information was leaked. Everything is as we thought it was before. That's it.
And most important, the broader point that conservatives try to make, which is that they're being censored, is actually contradicted by the data. That broader claim is just not true.
Well, hang on. Like, I brought this is what Barry Weiss had to present. Are screenshots saying that here are some conservative commentators, and on their profiles internally, they're slapped with tags that say "search blacklist, trends blacklist, do not amplify."
Yeah,
okay,
but
let
you would
me
have
amend
to
my
know.
statement. No, wait. Let me amend my statement. You're right. She has evidence that some Twitter accounts of some conservatives were censored or de-amplified in some ways. But
why were they censored or de-amplified? This will come back.
Wait
to
a minute.
The
problem is the broader right-wing argument.
No, ignore that. No. I just want to get exactly with what Supreme said. Okay, Supreme.
Please.
Okay. Here's the two issues. One is you would need to see the full blacklist. Number one, not a selective publishing. That is the most bullshit ass fucking lack of transparent bullshit I've ever seen in my life. So that's number one. And then number two, the question is why were they blacklisted? That is paramount. It is the only question that matters. You could show me a list of 100 conservative accounts that are blacklisted. That doesn't matter. Now, let's say in the back end they've got a flag for accounts where, like, these are accounts that have threatened violence against other people. Maybe there's 100 conservative accounts that got flagged that way. If that's the case, then there's no problem. The original claim is that people were blacklisted because of their political nature. That was the claim. Not that there's no blacklist at all. Every single human being, every person, everybody did.
Well, Connor, you made that claim earlier.
That was my claim. When was my
earlier when you talked
that
about
it was exclusively because they were conservative.
Sure, I can tell you when you talked about race realism versus debunking race or whatever, that this was somehow we were meant to infer conclusively that this was evidence of like algorithmic manipulation. I want to make it clear. I came in to steel man your argument. I'm glad that you gave the answer that I would give, Destiny. I just want to make it clear that I'm not of the mind. Twitter is
Did I not talk about the fucking sub variables? Like, is that not part of the fucking conversation where I basically said, because conservatives want to talk about certain things that progressives and people in tech don't want you to have a conversation about? This is
it's not that they don't want you to have a conversation about. It's that this conversation is already had about, and we fucking learned about it, and y'all are mad because we learned that y'all were wrong.
Jack off like fucking Ben Shapiro and not
y'all don't want to hear that.
Suppressed despite being fucking,
y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all stopped learning at a certain age because y'all thought you learned everything.
Anti-Semite.
Everything read this point in history where everything was learned.
They're judging by oppression
fucking
points.
Idiots.
Just one piece of evidence for that.
Did I just say? Well, okay, if you want to just engage with my hyperbole, that's perfectly fine. But basically, what I said is, Ben Shapiro is the right flavor of conservative to be popular despite his transphobia.
Sure,
do you have a problem with my less hyperbolic statement?
Yeah, you're making it sound like if he had one or two different features that he would be algorithmically suppressed for his political leanings.
Do you think if he was America first, he would be fucking as algorithmically supported?
Just by being America first? Yes. But now if he was saying like COVID isn't real, then I think that there are certain conspiracies that the social media platforms are shooting down and it will hurt your account.
I literally think like 80% of content creators, especially with the ones that you fuck with who are like fringe fucking lunatics, would viscerally disagree with everything that you've said for the past 45 minutes.
Yeah,
they'd be like, yeah, of course I'm shadow banned.
Everything they do.
I just think no, fuck you. Some of these people are talented and you're being a dick.
Okay.
So
yeah, I know. Blame the algorithm. It's the algorithm. Oh,
I'm blaming you, motherfucker. I'm blaming you.
Way before you weird fucking political guys got on fucking YouTube when it was just us playing video games, the same crying and bullshit about the fucking algorithm was still there. Oh, they changed the algorithm. SEO doesn't work anymore. Oh, I can't put things in the header of my HTML file to get preferential ranking. Oh, the poison the. This is just a new flavor of an old fucking argument that my content where I make some weird thing and I've got some dude with like fucking 500 IQ when it's measured on an intelligence scale, when he's got like the weirdest fucking esoteric knowledge. When I sit in front of a fucking camera and I talk about racial IQ differences for 25 hours and I'm not getting a million views on my videos,
geeks
it's because of
are
the
up.
fucking algorithm bullshit.
Geeks
Yeah,
are
it's the
up.
same crybaby bullshit. That's
And
what I
they're
get.
mad. And they're mad.
Okay,
It's
so
the
hold
same
on, just to be
crybaby
clear
bullshit.
before anybody else jumps in. So Lauren, Steph, Nick, Sargon, fucking all of these people, they're just a bunch of crybaby pussies who need to get good.
Yes.
I
Yes,
don't
Nick is a
know
crybaby.
for all of them if they've done content that hits the algorithm in a really bad way. So it's hard
I
for
would
me to
say,
say.
I think
But,
Fuentes is a crybaby.
Lauren's channel would probably
For
work fine if she posted regularly and posted content that was relevant to her subscriber base. Yes.
What if she talked about the things that she wanted to talk about?
I don't. It depends on what she wants to talk about.
What if she wanted to talk about race realism? What if she wanted to talk about zero immigration? What if she wanted to talk about European history? What if she wanted to talk about?
We're just gonna do
what
that.
if she
Say a
wanted-
million things. What if she wanted to talk about that? What if she
Say
wanted to rape
million
kids? What if she wanted to
things.
talk
You're
about
talking
curtains?
80% of the time, motherfucker.
If
What
you
are
want
you
a
talking
real
about?
answer to me, then you have to ask me one fucking topic at a time and not just flood a bunch of random shit because you know you're not standing on solid ground, right? If she wants to talk about race realism, that might be one of like the flagged topics on YouTube that's a no-go, like COVID misinformation, right? If you want to talk about zero immigration, I don't think that's a flag topic. It would probably be fine. But no, it's going to depend on the topic you're talking about. The fact that you don't even know this proves to me that you guys don't do any research when it comes to actually making your channels work. You just post some shit, it doesn't do well, and you blame the algorithm. This is what people have done on YouTube since 2006. People do this all the time. But
okay, so just to steel man what fucking Supreme said against what you just said, you're saying that what happened was some of these accounts on Twitter, they fucking touched the radioactive topics. They got basically told, do not amplify, and that's just their fault for touching the radioactive topics.
I
And they
don't
should
know
just get
why
good.
those accounts got with those marks on their account. I don't know. We just got the historic Twitter leak, so tell me.
Pull up the chat thread or the thing from Barry Weiss.
Does it
And to
say?
make it-
Does it say why they got blacklisted?
Probably not.
Well, and to make
do you
it
mean
clear,
probably not?
Wait, stop. To make it clear, Connor, we know that there were internal discussions and entire like assessments of why people would be getting banned or timed out or whatever, and we were specifically not shown that for these accounts. Doesn't that raise? a few
Hold on.
questions?
Destiny made a stupid point I want to point out from earlier. So
okay. Just skate by that one.
Oh wait, no. Sorry, no. Go ahead. I'll address it. Sorry, let's not skate. Go.
Okay, so we know from that same Twitter thread that there were internal discussions and entire write-ups of why certain actions were taken on certain accounts, but we weren't shown why those actions were taken on the write-ups. We weren't shown that for these accounts that had these search blacklists or whatever. We were explicitly not shown that. Doesn't that raise a few questions?
Probably what they said is this person touched a radioactive topic, therefore they're a pussy. and they should
Why
just make
speculate?
good.
They can just show us.
Yes, because these are the leaks.
Because it's
they can leak
right-wing
everything.
propaganda.
No, but
It's
Elon
right-wing
owns it now, and he's the one
propaganda.
advertising that he's going to blow the lid off this like right-wing suppression on Twitter or whatever. He's got all the documents. Why isn't he showing us? If that's what they say, why wouldn't he just show us?
Probably inconvenient to the narrative because it's probably really fucking boring.
Okay,
it's
then-
probably
then my
this
original
guy
point
that would
stands.
be
Then
the
my
this
original-
libs of TikTok. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably libs of TikTok retweeted and pointed out the specific name of a trans doctor, and therefore, despite not calling for violence, is engaging in stochastic terrorism. Do not amplify.
I don't think
that's
that Twitter
probably a
internal
file.
uses the term stochastic terrorism. Okay.
Oh, you got me.
My guess is going to be that a lot of the people with the do not amplify those markings, I bet a lot of them are probably involved in January 6th related shit. In which case, Twitter probably has a legitimate internal reason for wanting to limit the visibility of some of those accounts. Because I believe that's ultimately what Trump got banned for, wasn't it? Was January 6th related shit? So, anyway, regardless of all of this, listen, okay? You can blow me the out from every single thing I just said because we just got, according to some people, like counterpoints on Twitter, a historic leak, a historic trove of Twitter documents showing unprecedented abuses.
Directly, you an asshole.
Sure.
Like
What
if you're gonna
Okay, sure.
sign me perspectives, why don't you find my fuck? And by the way, what fucking dick for brains fucking DM'd you and was like, "Oh, Connor's being a real retard on Twitter. Why don't you fucking take him on?" Like what
Because
dick
I'm
for
seeing
brains was
all
that?
these conservatives saying shit, and I think there was a post on my subreddit where you guys were like, "Oh my god, this is like such a historic leak of shit." What did you actually say? What were your actual tweets about it?
I'd have to find them, but I shitpost 50 goddamn
It
times a
wasn't a
day, so it's
shitpost.
hard to find.
It was not a shit post. It was a real.
Okay, so
it was
let's
a-
find.
It was a true.
Let's find
post.
it.
Okay,
Dude,
let's-
I'll find it. Dude, literally half of this shit is me fucking yelling at you while mindlessly scrolling Twitter because I could be reading this shit, but I can't read and yell at the same time. I don't have ADHD like you fucking cunts.
All right, so scrolling past my Iron Man Warhammer 40,000 art. You can only say the N-word if you fight an entire staff of Popeye's kitchen staff. That's a banger tweet. Oh, here's me making fun of conservatives because they're saying that they're going to criminally charge people at Twitter, and I think that's uber fucking cringe. Oh, okay. You weren't shadow banned. You were algorithmically suppressed while being told you weren't. Do you have a problem with that tweet?
No, I have to find my. I can't scroll through your whole Twitter to find it. Hold on.
Okay. But do you have a problem with you weren't shadow banned? You were algorithmically suppressed while being told you weren't with a fucking douche smile? Because I'm pretty sure that's from your fucking. That's from your shit.
Good. This was your thing. Progressives acting like this is a nothing burger are delusional. Conservatives were making legal speech and were told for years they weren't being shadow banned, they were just unpopular. This is now a provable lie, and the shoe is on the other foot. What is the provable lie?
The provable lie is that these people are being fucking algorithmically suppressed, which Supreme already brought fucking first goddamn evidence for.
No, he...
No, he didn't. Do not
Stop. Here, listen. Allow me to help you make this argument. I wouldn't say
No, because he keeps assigning to me. Hold on, Supreme,
okay,
because
you're doing great on your own
game.
then.
No. You can give your shit, but he keeps assigning to me the fact that I think it's just because they're conservative. Excuse me, haven't we been in enough debates that you know I'm not actually physically retarded? So how about you deal with what I am saying instead of what you keep saying I'm saying? Sorry, Supreme. Please go ahead.
I'm making the argument I think you should be making because it's more sound. And that you actually have
go for it.
Wow, very condescending, like a normal fucking libcuck. Good
It's
job.
okay, Supreme's like fucking 40 or something, and he's got a beautiful beard and long hair. It's fine.
Listen, so if the claim is that conservatives, that there exist conservatives that have been behind the scenes, that their reach has been limited internally, and what's the term? Like deliberately, then I think we have some evidence that that's happening. I wouldn't say it's proof, but not all evidence is proof. If you've got Dan Bongino, whose primary product is being a conservative commentator, and you've got like a label on his account that says blacklist search, you couldn't find him if you wanted to search for him. I would say that that's evidence that a conservative, that their reach is being limited, like by Twitter internal staff, while simultaneously being told that that is not happening to conservatives.
But it wasn't.
Was your issue with my use of the word proof because proof is better than evidence?
Wicked Supreme. The claim has never been, has any conservative been shadow banned? The claim has been conservatives were shadow banned for being conservative.
Well, no, actually, I think there was a claim that Twitter said that it doesn't shadow ban people based on political leanings or something like that. And I understand that that's how you're interpreting that. But conservatives are considering, wait a minute, some of these topics that people are getting shadow bans for, we might consider cornerstones of our like ideology or our political affiliation or something.
Okay,